everybody. Hope everybody's having a good afternoon or good day, whatever time it is, wherever you are. How are you, Doug?
Family, what's going on?
We are all here.
Hi, hi, hi.
Yay. You having a
You-
good day so far?
it's not too hot. I put my
Well, that's good.
blackout blinds back up just because it was getting like hot in here. Matter of fact,
Right. It's a little bit better here today than it usually is.
fan. There we go. I was like,
That'll
"Oh, I'm
help.
sweating already.
Right.
All I
Especially
did was take my socks off, and now I'm sweating. Woo! I'm getting out of shape.
right. I know the feeling. It happens.
So you spent a lot of time yesterday on a timeline, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Find
I've got this timeline from the day Harmony was born all the way up to the last search.
yeah.
So it's a lot of really good information in here. Gives you a lot of different things to think about. Let's go put this up here on the screen. All right. And this is the beginning of her timeline. She was born on June 7th of 2014 in Haverhill, Massachusetts. Crystal Sorey, her mother, was the only one taking care of her at that time because Adam was in prison for a drug-involved shooting.
Wow.
I don't know if you know about that
I
one.
didn't know about the shooting. I knew about drugs.
Yeah. He shot a man in the face over a heroin deal.
Wow. And did the guy survive?
Yes, he did. He had went. He was supposed to have met the guy at an apartment complex to make this drug deal. Well, according to Adam's testimony, when he got there, the guy that was supposed to sell him the drugs and two other guys jumped him and was going to rob him instead.
So was
So
that
Adam-
attempted murder that he got? Was that an attempted murder charge? Do you know?
They originally had charged him with that, but he agreed to a plea deal on it, and they took him down to an assault with battery with deadly intent.
Could have saved Harmony's life if you think about it. If they charged him properly, yeah, right. And he
Yeah.
ended up with custody of Harmony, right? Blows your mind, huh?
Yeah,
Erin?
that's only the tip of the iceberg on that one. He's also still the suspect in a murder that happened back in 2008.
Thank you. I'll be frank. He said he did a year on that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was sentenced to 4. He only did 1. And
What's
they
the-
let
what-
him back out.
I guess. I mean, there's people. It's still in jail for like child support, and they let people like this guy out on the streets.
Yeah,
For the love of God and everything. Holy, hey Nikki, good to see you.
yeah. In February of 2008, he is suspected of murdering a man outside of a gas station.
He's alleged.
Yeah, he's the main suspect. They're still trying to find enough evidence to convict him,
So he's already a killer.
but they do know that, like, according to surveillance video, his vehicle was seen leaving the parking lot, and that he had talked to the guy earlier in the day. There was a drug deal that was made between them. But the reason they can't pin it on him directly is because that his brother also frequently borrowed his car.
Right, so it's one or the other.
They did not physically see him at the location, but it was his vehicle.
So I'm gonna pull a Grady Judge. Did you hear what I said?
Right.
What? Did you hear what I said? He's a murderer. He's capable of murdering.
Yeah.
Right.
He has his history of violence against people goes back to when he was 16 years old.
I picture this. This is the scenario in my head. Harmony needs something. She's not very well spoken, right? She's blind in one eye, so she's got some disability as well. He gets frustrated, shakes her, chokes her, something. Maybe punches her, kills her. I mean, just like the Mari Nicholson case, where Mari Nicholson was punched in the chest and in the face, right?
Right.
What's to say that didn't happen to and it's sad to think, but Harmony, he seems like he's got a hot temper. It seems like he was at the end of the line for something, and he lost it and ended up killing her.
I mean, I think that's a very good possibility that that's what happened.
Wow, this guy. We haven't even got to August 2014 yet. This is going to be a hell of a timeline. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Buckle up, people.
Yeah.
Put your seatbelts on. Supersize it. It's Saturdays.
Right. August 2014, DCF removes Harmony from her mother's care over concerns of Crystal Sorey's substance use and placed her in the custody of foster parents. Harmony visits Adam twice in prison, once in January of 2015 and again in July of 2015. So even while he was in prison, even while he was still in prison, they are allowing him visitations and setting him up to potentially get custody of her when he gets out.
This is like, I don't know. This is worse than the Oakley Carlson case. And they're both bad. Don't get me wrong. But like, this is getting deeper. I mean, in Oakley Carlson case, we have like an ex-cop who turned meth addict, right? And then now we have this dude that's just a criminal meth addict already that shoots people in the face, has a hot temper. He's not good with rules, right? He doesn't seem to be good with people telling him that he can and can't do something.
Exactly.
Wow.
A violent, he like I said, his criminal record started when he was 16 years old. He stabbed his 19-year-old friend in the leg and threw him out of the moving vehicle.
Man, I'd hate a different title than a friend if that's what he does to a friend.
Yeah.
Imagine what he does to an enemy. Well, he kills him. I guess that's our answer.
So
right?
yeah, I mean that's the kind of person that he's clearly been for maybe his entire life.
Right, shoot someone in the face. You probably shouldn't have custody. That's probably a very solid statement, Christina.
Yeah, and then the fact that they're fairly certain you murdered somebody, they just can't prove it. I mean, if the whole shooting somebody wasn't enough for you, I mean, I don't understand.
Right? I mean, oh Lord. It's not like he just jumped into like these crimes, like those 9 out of 12 people that got caught by Grady Judd, right? This guy's been a career criminal. He's like a Don Wells.
Yeah, he has been he's had a criminal record since he was 16 years old. Jeez. It's just not a new behavior,
How did he get custody? I'm beyond in awe right now. I mean, how come Harmony didn't stay with the Fosters? I am just in shock.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand is why they allowed Jameson to be adopted out into a permanent family that loves him and cares for him. Why not Harmony? Why were they so determined that she was going with him?
It's not like there was many options. The mom was a drug addict. The dad was a drug addict. The mom was in jail. The dad was in jail. Like, I mean, they were both in jail. They both been in jail. Like, she never had a chance. Like, she really didn't. And somebody like her needed extra love, extra care, because she does have disabilities, right? She needs that extra focus from her parents, right? She should have never left that foster home. She was so healthy, so happy, and so safe.
Right. I mean, the foster family was the only thing she had ever known. She'd been in foster care since she was 2 months old.
Right. So safe. It's like they should have never got the kids back.
No.
Sorry to cut you off.
You're fine. Let's see. All right. And then September of 2015, Adam Montgomery is released from prison and moves to Manchester, New Hampshire. September of 2016, 1 year after his release, Adam contacts Massachusetts DCF to request resuming visitations with Harmony. So I don't know what he did for, that year after he got released, but it was only in 2016 that he came back and wanted to start coming back around.
I believe that's the time when the mother was trying to get back custody of Harmony also. She was starting to make phone calls and wondering where Harmony is, starting, I think it was around 2016-ish, wasn't it?
No, that was in 2019 after
2019.
yeah. During this time I'm not
I
sure. I
mixed
mean,
it. Yeah, I just mixed it
yeah.
up with the Oakley case. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, I know it is. Totally. I messed up big time.
All right.
Better than a weather report.
But yeah, that I don't know what exactly was going on within that year.
Right.
But during that time, Crystal was, from what I understand, she was in and out of jail. She was in and out of rehab. So whether or not she was trying to get her life together to get Harmony back at that time, I'm not sure.
She was the one that actually got the ball rolling, like the concern going for Harmony, right? Like she's the one that spoke up. Like
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, she was trying to get a hold of Harmony, and there was no luck.
Right.
See, this is not like this is not like a situation of where like he went to go drop her off and she just disappeared. Right?
No, I don't. Like
although that's a good story, isn't that? Was that his? What was the story? Wasn't he going? What was he supposed to take Harmony? Wasn't he supposed to take her somewhere?
Yeah, his story, Adam's story was that he took her. It was around Thanksgiving of 2019. He took her and dropped her off at Crystal's house.
Right.
In Lowell, Massachusetts, and that he's not seen her since.
And that's what he actually told his current wife.
Yeah, well, that's still his story today, and he's sticking to it. He's not backing down from that story.
Wow, this guy's a bulletproof almost.
I mean, he is very dead set that he took her to Crystal and dropped her off, and he doesn't know anything else. There's no more information they can give him.
And Crystal says, I never saw him. I never met up with him. I never saw him.
Right.
Right. That's how it all started. Right. But how did they not know for 2 years is just besides me. I just don't get it. I mean, I'm looking at a timeline. It seems like DCF and CPS has been involved since 2014 when he went to jail.
DCF has been in Harmony, was in Harmony Montgomery's life from the time she was 8 weeks old.
Right, basically born.
Yeah.
Born into the system.
Yep. When she was just a baby and she went into foster care, they've been bounced in and out of her life ever since.
Yeah, Adam hasn't. I'll be frank, is right. Like Adam hasn't spoke a word. Like no, this is a guy who's on a verge of getting a murder case too. People like. The last thing he's going to do is talk. And if he doesn't, and he's stupid and talks to a bunkie, that bunkie's going to take every chance they get to get out of jail as fast as possible. Hook me up with a deal. I got a confession from this fool. Right? Like that's the hopes. Unless they have him segregated because he's high profile. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible too. I don't know that information.
Because he's considered high profile, I'm assuming.
Right.
I mean, if you hurt a little girl, or there's potential that you hurt a little girl, and I'm sure the inmates know about this case already.
Oh, I'm sure.
Inmates know before they even get there. Like if in fact he's still in jail and he's around people, if a charge comes back for what he did, I mean he's already getting neglect, right? Neglect charges, right? That's already bad enough. Like that's beatable offense, meaning not in court but beatable. Those guys will beat you up,
right?
It's like just as bad as a pedo almost. You beat up women, you beat up kids, you hurt women and children. You got a special right cross coming from you from many, many people, and it's probably going to be a lock in a sock.
Yeah, they have got a list of charges going against him right now.
See how the CPS is stacking the charges up? Hey, ready, guys?
Right.
That's what they're going to do to the Wells, right? They're actually stacking and they're charging everything that they can on these charges to keep them in as long as possible till they figure out what happened to Harmony. And they're going to do the same to his wife, right? Trying to keep her in as long as possible. And she just got another charge, right? So
yeah, they just added 2 charges for perjury on her for making false statements to the grand jury.
Right. So they're in some trouble. Like they're not going to see the light of day very, very soon. They've
also stacked charges before that for receiving stolen property for some guns and things that they had in their possession.
Thank you, Erin. Right. Like he's a felon. He's not supposed to have guns. Like I don't know how he's not. What is he getting free passes for?
Yeah, that's what I can't figure out. I mean, it seems like every time he's gotten in trouble for anything up to this point, it has just been a light sentence and send him on his way.
Right.
So that's what I can't figure out is why. You would think at some point, I mean,
Don't
I
do it
understand
again.
giving
Don't
somebody
do it
a chance
again.
maybe once or twice, but come
No.
on. This many times, no.
Stop. No. Not again. Not again after that. No more
Bad
agains.
boys.
No more agains.
No more guns.
This is the last again. And then next time you shoot someone in the face, we're gonna have to charge you with attempted murder.
Thank you, Debbie. Welcome.
Debbie says what with 2 question marks. You gotta make sure it says what with 2 question marks. If it was capitalized, that would have been what. You know, you gotta take it up a notch for the all capitals. For those people who yell in all capitals.
Oh yeah, right. Definitely.
Indefinitely.
Okay. Let's see here. February 2017, Adam again stops responding to DCF for visits. Up to that point, he had visited Harmony once a month for 5 months. So it looks like, maybe in September of 2016, he thought he had his life together and he, was going to try to do the right thing and try to be a halfway decent parent. But then for whatever reason, I don't know if it was possibly drug related, since we know he has a drug issue, that he kind of fell off again and, stopped responding and reaching out to see Harmony.
Oh, Bonnie Bailey, back-to-back membership. It's Membership Saturday here at Crime and Justice's channel, where all the members get to rock and roll at the after party. We really don't have one, but it sounds awesome. And if you want to join, we might just have an after party.
Right? It sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I started promising stuff I probably shouldn't have.
Oh, it's okay. Get a little carried away there, right?
Not even my channel. I guess it's all good.
Right? Get a little carried away there every now and then. It'll be all right.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah,
Saturday.
Basically, it's not our fault.
It's Super Sticker Saturdays. Showdowns. All right, sorry. I had to get up and get my coffee. Where did you just end off at?
We were talking about how that in September of 2016, he came back on and started talking to DCF about visitations for Harmony again and wanting to be a part of her life. But then by February of 2017, he had stopped responding to DCF. He stopped showing up for visits. So once again, he just fell back out of her life. Right.
So let me get this straight. He's not good with rules. He's not good with following directions. He's failed CPS already several times, and they still wanted to give him back Harmony.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't. Yeah.
Okay, I'm still
just
sitting here
sure.
going, Oh, Kelly, back to back. We've got triplets in the house. Triple members. They all look alike if you read their names.
Right.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, triplets in the house. No, just kidding.
August of 2018, Adam once again resumes visits with Harmony. This would be the first time in 11 months that he had seen her, and only the 9th time in her lifetime.
What a great dad. Well, he did see her when he was behind a glass door, right?
Yeah.
Or glass window. Talk over a phone.
Yeah, but I mean, is that because he didn't have to go out of his way to go see her? They brought her to him and, wow.
That's gross.
So he's only interacted with her 9 times within 4 years at this point.
I mean, if I've only seen my dad like a handful of times and he's in jail, I don't want to start remembering my dad that way. Let's start with, no, I don't want to go. Why don't you take me finger painting somewhere or make ceramic plates at one of these fun places? Like the last place I would want to go is to a prison at her age to go visit a man and to go visit a sperm donor.
Exactly. I mean, you don't. That's traumatic on a child right there within itself.
I've got that dude in a mental headlock right now, and I'm squeezing tighter.
Right.
I got a big time mental headlock. And the system, too. The CPS system, headlock, mental. Boom. Got it. Squeezing tighter.
Right.
I wish I didn't wear deodorant today because that's how bad I hate them right now.
Exactly.
December 19th, 2018, Massachusetts DCF requests a home study be conducted by New Hampshire DCF at Adams' residence in Manchester, New Hampshire. New Hampshire DCF now reports they were not given enough information to complete the home study. What, like the address? Like, what do you need to complete the home study? Just to start it. The DCF request for more information to complete the home study in February of 2019. Harmony's father was granted custody. Can you back up one more second? Let me just make sure the months are right.
Yeah.
All right, December. Okay, so all right, so
December 19th,
2018.
Months.
So 2 months.
Yeah.
To make this decision.
Yeah. It took them 2 months for a judge to make that decision without ever completing that home study that was supposed to have been done.
Or like say probation for what he did. Like, let's just be honest.
Right.
We'll let her back in your life, but until you're a fit parent, we ain't giving her back. This seems way too short.
That's what I'm, shouldn't there be, okay, like with a reunification, should there not be like, okay, you've got to go this many months and, we're going to set up scheduled visits. You're going to have to be on time. You're going to have to show up. Certain list of things you have to accomplish.
Right.
Before you work your way toward regaining custody of this kid that doesn't even know you.
So I'll be frank, has a good point. It wasn't DCYF or DCFS. They wanted Harmony adopted. Crystal was losing her parental rights, so had Adam fight for Harmony. They both fought DCYF on that.
Well, I say that's not the story that Crystal is telling.
It isn't, is it?
No, Crystal is telling that she lost custody of Harmony whenever
she got drugs in jail.
She was going through her substance abuse issues and she was locked up.
Right.
So she had no choice in any of this matter. And that by the time she got out and got herself clean enough to get it together, Harmony was already gone.
Can you click on I'll Be Frank one more time? Oh, he's a good-looking dude. I'll be frank. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like and share and subscribe to my channel. I'm here for me and me only.
Right.
I'm actually on the clock. I show up late to work because I can. No, I'm just kidding. That sounded so pompous. Show.
Right.
Welcome. I'll be frank. Thanks for being a part of a great think tank. It's great comments like that or comments like that actually help us through these shows because you guys are smart. I'm not going to lie. You guys are smarter than us. We play smart on TV. That's all.
Exactly.
We pretend. We just pretend to be smart. You guys are smart. Please keep the chat favorable like this. Please keep nice. Keep having a good time. But I love how you guys are staying focused because sometimes these chats, even on weekends, can get lost. And this is a great story to be talking about. A timeline's important in any case. And Crime and Justice is a hell of a job so far. We're only like a third of the way down to what she's already written. And this story is telling a bigger story. And it's a story of how CPS is laundering kids.
Yeah,
they just launder kids, right? If they're a problem, who cares? We won't do the home visit. The home study, yeah, screw it.
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm in awe.
I honestly I was shocked at that because I would thought that would have been one of the things the judge would have asked to have, seen the paperwork on. Show me this paperwork on this home study that says that their home is safe. There's no dangerous weapons in the house. There's no threats whatsoever. Show me that Adam has everything he needs to take care of this child. But no, they just said, well, it'll be all right. Never mind.
Know if they luminoled the apartment? I can't remember. I know they didn't. I know they didn't. None of that. Okay, so BHB put out a headline saying Harmony Montgomery's remains found. We don't know that at all, people. We don't have that.
No,
we really don't have that.
They have not come out with a press conference or anything about what they did find.
What do you think? What happens if what they thought they got was blood is black mold or something? Like, who actually knows what they took out of the apartment after that amount of time? And Adam kicking in the door, because he did kick in the door to go back in there, right? Because of the smell.
Right.
There was a weird smell.
I do have a good little tidbit of information on that as well. According to one of the neighbors that was living in the apartment next door whenever Adam and Kayla moved in, she says that Harmony was never at that apartment. When they moved in, they only had 3 children with them, and those were Kayla's 3 children. Harmony was never seen at that apartment.
That's crazy. So, so they could be not looking in the wrong spot.
Yeah. So, I mean, when they moved in, well, it's on, it should be right on down here. We'll get to it, but I believe it was December that they had moved in there. December of 2019. But then again, Adam was saying that he took Harmony to go to live with Crystal in November. And then they moved into that apartment in December. Unless it's on the timeline. I'll make sure I'm not getting my years.
Yeah, no, up. I think you're right.
Yeah,
2016 or 17.
Okay, we'll get back to this though. All right, April of 2019, Crystal speaks to Harmony on FaceTime call. It was around Easter, which Easter was the 21st. This is the last time Crystal sees or hears from Harmony. Then
so yeah, July, so 19, and then in 20, we actually found out in 21, right? It was like end of 21. This case popped off.
Right. July the 29th, 2019, DCF received anonymous call concerning abuse. Now, this was whenever it was reported that Harmony had the black eye.
Right.
They were still living in the Guilford Street home in Manchester at that time.
Let's just talk about how that happened. Well, did she fall and hit herself on a toy chest? Did she slip in the shower? What's the story, right? The so-called slip in the shower story. It seems like somebody's got to behave. Like if she says something that adult doesn't like Adam, it seems like he's very, very aggressive. Backhand. That seems
now,
like
according to the uncle, which is we later found out the one who made this phone call about the abuse. He said that Adam smacked her around because he told her to watch the baby while he went to the bathroom. And when he come back out of the bathroom, the baby was crying, and Harmony was trying to get the baby to be quiet by putting her hands over the baby's mouth.
Well, Harmony's a baby herself. She doesn't know how to be a parent. Super chat.
Thank you, Bunny.
My double B's. Double B's are way better than double D's.
Right. So yeah, that is the story according to the uncle. Was that Adam admitted to smacking her in the face because she had her hands on the baby's mouth.
Now I get disciplining your kids. Your kid goes to touch the stove and it's hot. Oh, hot.
Right. Yeah,
teaching them, right? But in the eye or in the eye, I can't get with that. I never had to lay a hand on my kid. Not once. Just the look. This one. I actually...
Right.
Because they give me the look back and I try not to smile because they're so damn cute. Even when they were little, I try to get mad at them. Exactly. Don't make that face. That's what I used to do when I was little to get out of stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That face.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Sweet Melissa. Welcome to the party of the membership group.
Thank you.
Wow. How many Sweet Melissas do we actually have now? We had like 16 Sweet Carolines. Glad we're back to one Sweet Melissa. Next, it'll be just Sweets because somebody will keep copying it.
Yeah, Lulu, there was that too.
Ooh.
According to the uncle, Adam would use that as a form of punishment for Harmony, making her scrub the toilet with her own toothbrush.
I would flush and be like, "Oh, Dad, went under, and you knew one."
As well as making her stand in a corner for hours at a time.
I hope Adam has a bunkie, because if I can find out who it is, I want to write him a letter and send him this timeline, his bunkie, and let his bunkie know what a piece of shit he is, and let his
Right.
bunkie handle. Yeah, I'm sure we could find out who his bunkie is. We're gonna have to find out who his roommate is somehow.
It's terrible. It is horrific, the things that Harmony went through, and then DCF comes on the scene and does nothing. Because even at this one, July 2019, when she was reported with the black eye, CPS worker visits the home and reports no injuries found.
So no, so did they actually check? Was my question. I mean, obviously, if they don't even do like the home studies, like, are they actually going to check for bruises, like beyond like, oh, she looks
Right.
good. No, she's wearing long sleeves and long pants. Yeah, don't worry, she looks fine. Her face is fine now. Doesn't have a black eye anymore, right?
Exactly. I mean, and it took them like a week. It took them a week to go check on her.
Right. Nerd girl, it's no longer Sweet Caroline. It's Sweet Melissa. Oh. It's gotta change it up. You can't have that song in your head. Sweet Caroline that was bad for us. I had too many mods. I had too many mods of Sweet Jesus is what it should have been.
Right. Sweet Jesus, there's so many of you.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. Oh no. No more. I'm just kidding.
No more.
Thank you guys for your generosity. Thank you guys for
you.
for coming by on a Saturday in Crime and Justice. Definitely. Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it.
No problem.
This is very interesting. You did an excellent job on this so far.
Thank you. We did find out that Guilford Street home was owned by Adam Montgomery's grandmother. So that's the reason they had a home to live in. Because it was the grandmother's home and she was letting them stay there. So
wasn't it the apartment they searched though? Not the home. They searched the apartment.
They searched the home first.
Oh, they did. Okay, I was making sure they did. Okay, I didn't know if they went. Did they take anything out of the house like they took out of the apartment? Do you know?
Yes, they did extensive search of that home. They even went as far as to dig up the backyard and take samples of dirt, and they took like, pieces of flooring and different items from the home.
So they know that it potentially didn't happen at the apartment. They're just dotting their I's and crossing their T's here, right? I mean, they got a lot of making up to do for DCF.
Right.
They really have a lot of time to catch up on for DCFS and all their mistakes.
Well, see, that's why I was questioning why they even bothered at this point to go search the apartment. But they're saying that it was a credible tip that came in that led them to go search the apartment.
Whatever social worker signed off on any of this stuff, they should be charged for something. They should be. Yeah. I mean, for them not doing their jobs and this actually being the result, there needs to be a bigger punishment than just like, oh, well, lost another one. Oh, it's lunchtime. Got to go. There's got to be some kind of punishment, right?
Right. Now, the Guilford Street home that was owned by Adam's grandmother was foreclosed on September the 5th of 2019. The latest I can place.
And when was the last time she was seen? What'd you say? When was the date you said that she was? Because you said nobody actually saw her, right? So, like, when was the last time someone did see her?
The latest I can place Harmony being with them is going to be October of 2019.
Okay, so that's exactly when Thanksgiving, right? I thought Thanksgiving was.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, okay.
That's November, right?
Yeah, the latest I can place them with them at that address, at the Guilford Street address, is going to be October of 2019.
But the latest we could place her alive is Thanksgiving, right? That's what we do know. Okay.
But there was also a police report made at that address in September of 2019, which had Adam, Kayla, and 3 children listed on it.
For what? Was it a domestic violence?
Yes.
And they still get to keep their kids? Holy
Yes, the neighbors had called in a domestic violence noise complaint in September of 2019.
God, it doesn't end. It's like
But
that dude will never get off probation. He'll never get off probation.
The thing I found weird about that is, though, if in September of 2019, why does the police report only mention Adam, Kayla, and Kayla's 3 children being in that home? There's no mention of Harmony on that police report.
And what date was this?
That was in September of 2019. Would that lead you to believe that she may have been gone by September of 2019?
So did they really see? Did they really see her in November? Then was Thanksgiving? Where's a picture? Where do we have any digital evidence? Do you know? I haven't seen any.
No.
All I know is the stories we've been told. I haven't seen any digital evidence to actually prove that she made it to a Thanksgiving. Nothing.
No.
And it seems like she's been not
back through every police report, every CPS report that I can get my hands on.
It's not like anybody missed her, it seems like, right? Nobody missed her. I mean, if they didn't see her for 2 years, aren't they wondering, she hasn't been to a Thanksgiving in a while. It's kind of weird.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like somebody had to have noticed in the 2 years, like just like somebody had to notice that little boy that was found in that Las Vegas suitcase. Somebody have to notice he's gone. Like there's got to be some way he's connected to the real world, right? To where someone's gonna be like, oh, whatever happened to Anthony or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like they gotta, It's gotta be like that. How do they? This little okay, so I get it how it could be an African American baby. Actually, I know how it is, because even if they did know, they could be turning the other way and stuff, because sometimes that's it. And I'm not going to lie, I think there's some discrimination that comes into this true crime community and to the news with true crime, right? We're not getting enough African American kids or other kids, unless they're a really huge story like the West Boys. We're not getting the Daniel cases, right? The Daniel, I don't want to say Brian case. It starts with a B, right? Daniel out of Arizona. Daniel, his dad has been on. He's an African American boy. He went missing. Daniel
I know you're talking about.
What's on the end of my? So many cases.
Is it Roberts?
No, it's close. Robinson.
Robinson.
There we go. What is Robinson for 5,000, Alec?
Right.
Oh, you just hit the daily double. The newsman's late. Might have to fire him. His life already sucks. We'll get back to him later. Yeah, you got to do yours later. So okay, so yeah, Daniel Robinson. I was asked, I got contacted by people. They asked if I would go drone in Arizona. If anytime I could. They're not asking me to come right this second, but if I could come anytime, it would be very, very helpful. And I'm considering it. As soon as I get out of here in the next few days and move, I can kind of get my schedule going with my kids for the summer and then know when I can leave. But my point is, we're not getting enough coverage for other cases like this. You know what I mean? It's sad, unless I'm missing them. I could be missing them and they could be putting them out, but I'm very, very in tune to a lot of news channels and things of that nature. So I would like to see us picking up more stories like the Cody Bigsby cases and things like that, and keep the Bigsby case and everything. Like I'm just floored at how these parents are running around and nobody still has noticed that they're missing a kid, because people know that they have kids. People just don't know if they're kids, if really what's going on with the kid, right? But the parents, people are in their lives that are older and be like, aren't you missing one of your kids? Still at your mother's house 3 years later? You know what I mean? Like somebody's going to have to. Thank you, Checking Convictions. Yeah, I'm just saying I don't see them through the mainstream media like we should. Like I would hope. No,
you definitely don't see them on mainstream media. I have a whole list of cases right now that I have found not one mention in any news article, video, or anything of.
It's embarrassing.
And a lot of them are even listed on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and don't even have photographs.
Wonder if John Walsh is involved. Dun, dun, dun. Plot twist.
I've come across a lot of them this morning, actually, that they're listed on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, but they have no photograph attached.
Let's start making this a point. Let's start doing at least 1 to 2 at the end of each whatever we're doing for the show. I think we could talk at least about 1, 2, or 3 kids that are missing in our states. Even if everyone in different states would just talk about 1 or 2 at the end of each show that are missing in different states, it would help, right? Because it starts to add up, because we got multiple people in multiple states, right? And it'll start hammering out, right? It's something we need. That's one thing I could get together with on creators. Otherwise, I don't want any part of friendships with creators at this point, because it's been so damaging. It's just like, I mean, besides you and our family, but like, I mean, I like to, we stay good in our lanes over here. And over on my channel, we change lanes a lot, but we stay, for the most part, in our lanes. We're fallible, but not as fallible as CPS, man.
Right.
I mean, and CPS is ruining a lot of these cases. So let's make it a point to talk about other races. I mean, even if they're not in this country, even if we could help another country, because there's other countries that watch us, even if it's stuff in the UK or in France or wherever, right? Let's do it, right? Because somewhere someone is listening. And it's going to be something that it could be huge if everyone follows suit. And I'm not asking to be like a creator of anything. Matter of fact, I don't care who wants to say they came up with the plan. Let's just do it. Right. Let's rock and roll.
I think that would be a great idea. Even if nothing else, just end the show with their missing flyer on the screen, and just, read
it doesn't even have to be the missing flyer. Maybe just even a picture or a backstory. You don't even need you don't even need a picture at times. If we're just talking about these names, it's gonna be huge. Pictures are great, but I'm just saying, like, as long as we can mention, okay, this is happening in Maine right now. We're missing, 2 brothers. They're African American. They're 4 and 5. You can probably find their current picture because we couldn't, or whatever. It doesn't matter as long as we're talking about them, or if we have names in the story is what matters. And typically pictures come with a story, right? Like when we find the story, we should have some kind of picture or documentation, unless it's like old pictures, because it seems like nobody has up-to-date pictures like the Wells or the Wests to give law enforcement. And again, the FBI has an app where you can actually upload into a file that doesn't go anywhere until, and God forbid something happen, right? You can actually send that file in real time to any law enforcement agency, updated pictures of your kids. It's a free app you can get through the FBI.gov website. Just, and it's really a good idea. And I don't care if your kids are over 18. If something happens to an adult, like, you'd want some current pictures of an adult too, right? It's not a bad idea to have just your family in there, period.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean,
that's your immediate
good idea
family
for everybody.
Yeah, it's a smart idea, right? Because if something, God forbid, does happen, at least we're prepared, right? That we want to have a game plan. Game plans are huge. When you don't have a game plan, the playlist and everything in front of you looks all scattered because you have no clue which way to run. And I don't want to be that guy.
No, definitely not.
And I don't want to be that girl either. Prepared. So, just in this day and age, I don't want to be either.
Right. We don't want to be neither.
I don't even like milk anymore. Moving on.
Okay. That takes us to August 7th of 2019. CPS visits again and interviews Harmony, Adam, and Kayla. This time, the worker noted a red mark on Harmony's eye and faded bruising under her eyelid. Adam stated that the injury occurred as a result of Harmony being struck in the face with a toy while playing with a sibling. The caseworker also spoke to Crystal, who told the agency that she had lost custody of Harmony to Adam. October 1st, 2019, final visit from CPS to the Guilford Street home. Worker reports children appear happy and healthy. Assessment concludes that the report of abuse was unfounded, but the family was at risk of future concerns. So that's the document that gave me the last time I was able to say 100% for certain that Harmony was at that Guilford Street home.
Did she have any doctor's appointments that she attended? I mean, was she going to the dentist regularly? I mean, because I took my kids at 5 years old to the dentist regularly.
Not that I have been able to find out. I do know that was in the whenever the oversight board had the review of this case, that was some of their concerns, was that the judge did not set up, or DCF did not set up any kind of plan as far as, okay, who's her pediatrician going to be, who's her eye doctor going to be, who's her,
Or are you
any of
capable
that.
of even setting that up, Adam? Like is this
Yeah,
guy's not? This guy usually gets to go to the infirmary when he's in jail or prison, right? He can just
Right.
put in a kite whenever
Yeah,
he's got a toothache.
they made no mention in her DCF file that she had any kind of medical appointment set up, any kind of doctors lined up for her that she
Hence
would
the
need to go
neglect.
to.
Hence the neglect. It's got to start piling up even more. There's got to be more charges coming from CPS. But here's the deal. Like CPS should be charged too, right? Like they failed. They dropped the ball on Harmony.
Exactly.
Big time.
I feel like both Massachusetts and New Hampshire.
Big time. They dropped it in 2014. They started dropping it in 2014. That ball just kept rolling. And whoever responsible for playing the curling event and keeping that ball going, right? That they all should be responsible at some point for any kid that gets lost that's on their case file, right? Because that means they failed at some point to do like the home study or something that would actually lead to missing something, especially in abuse, like checking the child for SA abuse or checking the child for bruises or extensively just even talking to the kid. Like we learned that crossing the lines is what CPS needs to start doing. They need to start going into the kid's bedroom, sit down on the bed, make sure that it's a real mattress, that it's not like, a water, just covered with something. Like, what I'm saying? Like,
and a lot of times in these cases, even then, if these kids are actually being abused, they're going to be scared to speak up and say that with their abuser still in the same house.
Unless they separate the kid and let them know, we're here for you, we love you, and we care about you. We want to make sure everything's okay. Right. As long as you know that first, and no one's going to judge you. Your mommy and daddy don't judge you, and they know I'm here and I'm actually the boss. That's how that is.
I mean,
I'm the boss, because if I want you to be in a safer place, because I find out your mommy and daddy aren't doing something right, we're going to make sure that you're safe and you're getting everything you need. Right? Down to the checkups, down to the dentist, down to the health, like eating 3 meals a day plus snacks, right? And having a bedtime story read and a nap, like being involved. Like there was no involvement. It was like, go to bed, Harmony, right? Stop running into walls. I don't care if you can see or not. Like literally, he was probably that kind of douchebag dad. Degrading, demoralizing, hurtful, ignorant. What else can I say? Mentally deranged, vindictive lunatic, maybe. Right. I guess we could go with D, all the above.
All of the above. Yeah.
I guess that would be D. That was a lot to say, but like, let's do a poll. Let's do a poll.
It's a lot of things wrong in this situation.
Yeah, let's do a poll. Let's ask these people in their right minds. Maybe we can like screenshot the poll. Like, did CPS drop the ball? And should have left Harmony in foster care, or have their fosters adopt, because the fosters loved her. Anyone would have taken her. We all would have taken her, like Summer Wells or the West Boys or anybody. We all would have taken these kids as our own and loved them to death. Not like to death like that, but to death. Like we would protect them so that didn't happen. Right? That's how much we love them. Our vows is the same as when we marry. Like when you have a kid, it's still death do us part. It really is. If you really love your kid, and until there's a time where if somebody can't change and someone's willing not to change, there's some time when you just have to let go, right? There's people in our own families that we've had to do that with at some point, or friends, because it puts us in a worse position, because birds of a feather flock together, right? So, I don't like the fact that CPS didn't see any of this, and any one of his friends that saw him abuse her had to have seen him slap her or do something while like him running around drinking beers or hanging out with his friends at the house. Like the
only person as far as family goes that I can find that came out and said that they filed a report is the uncle.
Okay.
He's the only one.
See, that's
now, because all the rest of them are anonymous reports. I couldn't find who reported that.
That's kind of
whether it
like
be neighbors or whoever.
Oakley, where the grandfather is the one who could, contacted. Like, do you notice how like no real immediate family who's like around them all the time? Like I said, somebody's got to notice something. That uncle
Right.
had to notice something or behavior or knew Adam. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people knew his behaviors growing up. He's been in jail, like you said, since he's been in his teenagers
Right.
years, right? Maybe earlier, even that. Maybe if he got in trouble early on through the system. I don't really know if he was in juvie, if he was. He probably was if he's this kind of person, right? Shooting people in the
Right.
face, all running around drug addicts. He had to have had some kind of record as a juvenile, right? This started from somewhere,
Right.
right? I'd be interested
Well, I
to
mean,
see what his
he did
parents
have
were like.
yeah, he did have a record from back then.
Oh, I'm sure he did. It's
Yeah,
undoubtedly.
the first time he went to jail was when he was 16 years old.
Yeah, undoubtedly. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, yeah. So that means he's got a juvenile record.
Yeah.
So that means he's been in the system every decade almost. He's been alive except for the first one.
He is listed and labeled, as far as law enforcement goes, as a career criminal.
Right. They should keep him locked up forever then. I mean, there's career criminal laws where in certain states they'll lock you up, like 3 strikes law. Like, it's same kind of thing.
Well, say that's one of the additional charges they're putting on him now is a 3 or more time felon, career criminal.
Oh, so they're hitting him with that strike. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
They're hitting him with it now.
Does he have any previous strikes that we know of? He has to for like the attempted murder.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes,
one more
murder. He does for the
Adam may never get out.
Receiving of stolen property and felony theft charges. Yeah,
he may never get out. Crime and Justice. I'll be honest with you. We're gonna get justice.
I mean, if they can make all of that stick, they're going to hit him hard.
But here's the thing. Here's the catch-22. Then we don't find Harmony because what is it in it for him, right? He's in jail for life. Who cares? The last thing he wants to do is lead them to the body and be like, oh, now I've got 3 life sentences. Great. I'll be reading with Bubba if you need me.
At that point, the only thing we could hope for would be that Kayla would talk, if she knows.
Well, Kayla,
I feel like she does.
Kayla has to know because he said, "Hey, I'm gonna go drop Harmony off with her mom." He told her that, and then he left. How long was he gone? Right? However long he was gone is however long he's able to get to put the body. We got to cut that time in half, however long he was gone, because he has that much time to get there, halfway, and then back. Right? He's got to be back in a certain amount of time. Could he have made it all the way to where Crystal was? Is the question.
Right. See, that's the part I don't understand is that from what I am understanding correctly, Kayla said that she was getting ready to leave for work that morning. Right around Thanksgiving, she was getting ready to leave for work. And Adam says, "Hey, I'm taking Harmony to her mom's today, while you're gone to work." And then she said that's the last time she saw Harmony.
This is before they lived in the cars? Until she took before they lived in the cars together, or what?
I don't know where they lived at that time. I do know that like I said, the latest I can put them at the Guilford Street address is going to be in October of 2019. So I believe they were already homeless, living in the street then.
Right.
In November.
Like, isn't that a CPS red flag then? We're homeless. Maybe you come in and we got to have monthly checks and make sure you guys are fine, or weekly checks, or go get into a shelter. But you can't go get into a shelter when you want to stay on drugs and doing the wrong thing, right? Adam wanted to continue his lifestyle as a deviant. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I do know there was somebody from one of these homeless shelters that said that they came in the shelter in the middle of October of 2019 and that they fed them and provided them with warm clothes, but then they left. They wouldn't stay.
I mean, why would you leave a place where you have safety? See, that's the thing. If you can't abide by the rules, because if you're going to stay in a shelter, you can't be on drugs.
Right.
You can't be screwed up on alcohol. They don't let you do that.
Wouldn't
so
stay.
They'd rather be on the streets and risk their lives and her life, or what's easier, continue to do drugs and just get rid of her. right? Or
Right.
she,
I mean, they,
or
you
there,
know,
or she was
unfortunately,
complaining because she was cold and we're sleeping in the middle of the nowhere in the street or something. She's complaining she's cold, and Adam just like steps on her, and that's it. Like something happened. There was a trigger that Adam gets pissed, right? Because
right.
I'm seeing the sociopath, narcissist, drug addict, criminal who's well, he's well, I guess he's what penitentiarized or incarceratedized or
Institutionalized.
instant. I don't want to call it
I
that
don't know.
because I don't know if I just think he's just got that mentality where it's just like he always knew he was going to end up there forever, right?
Right.
Like I always thought, like he got lucky, he got that pass early on. It seems like he just feels like he's either invincible or he's going to end up there forever anyway, and he's not worried about the murder charge because he's going to get one anyway with Harmony, right? So he's really not worried about that other murder charge because if he gets that murder charge with Harmony, he still ain't never getting out. So charge me
Right.
with another murder, let my brother go free. That's fine. Yeah, I did it. I'll
Right.
make a deal with you. I'll tell you I did it as long as you guys don't put me down completely into the shoe or lockdown or one man cell. I want to be in general population where I have a chance to get killed so I don't have to live my life like this always. Right. That's probably what the next step is. Either that or PC up because he's got crimes against the children and somebody
Yeah.
may kill him anyway. Right. It's a
Yeah. I mean,
bad situation.
that's probably a good possibility, depending on where they put him. Which, unfortunately, I don't always agree with it. But in cases like this, they tend to protect the criminals and keep them segregated by themselves so that they can protect them, so nobody else can hurt them.
Now he's going to have to PC up himself, right? He's going to get,
Right.
there's murderers in general population. They're going to throw him in general population. There's no doubt. He's not like a superstar or like Elon Musk or anybody like that
Right.
who's going to be killed because of who he is, or Bill Cosby, something like that, right? They're going to throw him into general population, and as soon as he gets there, the prisoners already know whatever dorm he gets to or whatever block he gets to, they already know what he's there for. They have paperwork on him, right? And if they don't have his paperwork, they're going to make him show his charges, right? And then they're
Right.
going to right then there it's you better duck and cover, right?
Right.
You better sleep with your one eye open because you may not wake up tomorrow.
Right. This whole situation is just, I don't know.
I'm
Sad.
so
It's
upset at
frustrating.
CPS.
It's yeah.
The judges down to CPS. I'm not thrilled with any part of the system here, down to the judicial system. When it came to whoever signed off on giving Adam back custody of Harmony, that's a problem. Did they not read the whole report? And they're like, oh, we're not going to do a house study. I'll just read the front page and see who the hell we're dealing with, and I'll just sign off on the back one.
I mean, geez,
Then I'm going to go golfing with the DA.
It was too many pages. So what? You just skimmed through and read the little bitty words and then signed it? I mean, I don't get it. How do you not have all of your paperwork in order? And they're like, oh well, that don't matter. It's fine. We'll just look the other way and just go ahead and sign that. We'll be all right. No.
How's he going to get her home? He doesn't have a car. Who cares? They'll figure it out.
Exactly. I don't.
Right? They didn't even make sure she had a safe way home or a safe way around. Like they didn't do nothing. Nada. Zilch. Zero. Nothing. Nathan.
Everybody in her life, from CPS to her own parents.
Not everybody. The Fosters were phenomenal.
Right.
Right. Not everybody in her life were bad.
No,
the people the people that took her away from the good people down to the people they gave her to are the bad people. Exactly. They should have never taken her back out of the system. She should have been adopted out. That's when you draw the line, right? Boom.
She should have been adopted with her brother, where she would be safe right now.
And then let him create a relationship with the adopted family if, in fact, he wants to be in her life, which it didn't seem like he wanted her anyway. It was more of a hassle to him, right? She has disabilities. Right. She needs more than other kids, right? Her learning slower.
I mean, they did say that, because of her being, they're saying it was because of her being in foster care from the time she was 2 months old. And from Crystal and Adam both bouncing in and out of her life so much that she did have some behavioral issues. She had some, trauma associated with that and behavioral issues. So I could totally see, if, if she had, a meltdown or something, what maybe she was
No,
whining or
what
something.
even a come? What about a come down? What about these people coming off drugs and they just didn't want to deal with her? Like both,
Right.
if they didn't, if they were coming down, they just wanted to sleep, and she was like, "I want to eat something to eat, Daddy," and he's like, "I told you to shut up." Like that's how I picture it. Like,
Right. I mean,
I
that's a
picture some
possibility,
situation
too.
like the come down from the drugs, and because knowing they're going homeless soon, like he just lost it.
Right. I mean, that's
Hello, Amy.
any of those situations are entirely possible.
That's it right there.
So,
That's a nail on the nail. I don't want to use
right.
nail on the coffin. Nail on the head. I don't want to use nail on the head either.
Yeah. I know.
Can I even nail in the milk?
Right.
Hey, Shandia, good to see you.
But yeah, from what I've gathered here, all right, December of 2019 is when Adam and Kayla moved into the 644 Union Street apartment, which is the apartment they just got finished searching.
And so that's the one they actually left from that apartment and moved in with the mother-in-law, you said, or the mother? Where they searched that house? Well, where did they go? When did they live at that other house?
They lived at the Guilford Street apartment, or Guilford Street house that belonged to his grandmother. They lived in until October of 2019.
Okay, so if you
scroll
up a little bit on your screen, if you go back up a little bit, what's the date up there? So that's when you're saying they moved at November to December time frame.
Yeah, right. October 1st, 2019, the CPS final visit was at the Guilford Street home.
Okay.
Sometime between October the 1st and around mid-November is whenever the foreclosure on that home went through and it was sold. So at that point, they had to leave.
Right. They have usually 30 days to leave or something.
So
sometimes less.
Sometime between the middle of October until December of 2019, they were homeless.
All right, so let me talk some shit here real quick. So back in December 19, they were actually doing cash for keys, meaning don't F up our house, don't screw up the house, don't pull out the pipes, don't bring the toilets out of the house, don't screw up the fireplace. Leave the house alone. We'll give you $5,000. Take cash for keys. Cash for keys, and you just go, and you have enough money to go pick up somewhere else, right? It's almost like a down payment, your first, last, and a deposit to go move on, right?
Right.
So they had to have some kind of money, because I don't foresee Adam and his wife working at all. I don't see, besides her saying she went to work, I don't see them being able to maintain a life like that if they're drug addicts. I just can't see it.
She was working, if I remember correctly, it was a fast food restaurant.
Right. So I'm
she was working at.
So she can go in there stinking anyway, because she ends up stinking when she leaves. So
right.
I'm sure and smelling like grease. So I'm sure at some point she got tired of it, right? And she left. Didn't they break up at some point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she left and she took her kids and went back to her mother's.
So where were her kids staying? With them?
Yes, they were all with them.
So did they not have any story about where she's been or when she went missing? They have to hold the key. There has to be some type of deal. They're working with these other kids, just like the Wells kids. They've got to have a story.
Her kids are babies.
Okay.
They're really little. They're small.
How does she still have them? How come CPS hasn't taken them? Isn't this a problem if they were together while one goes missing and her kids are there? She's got to have some kind of why are they letting her keep her kids? I'm scared for her kids at this point.
Her mother, technically her mother legally has custody of them now, but Kayla lives there with them.
Right. Yeah, that sounds real good. Doesn't sound fishy to me at all.
Yeah, they allowed her mother to, take them in, and she signed over the kids to her mother, from what I'm understanding. But Kayla,
so the mother will actually now get funding from the state for those kids.
Yeah.
But in the same rate, the mother's living there. I wonder if they know that the mother's living there to get funding. If the mother's there not working or not making, there's got to be a point where they're okay, something's fishy. I mean, how is she going to take care of her? You said she's got 3 kids?
Yes.
And she got to stop putting out.
Yes, she has 3. I believe I don't know really how old the oldest one is. I believe the youngest one is like maybe 2.
They should all be in the system. And I hate the system,
Yeah,
but at this point I'm like, dude, they're it's 50-50 whoever they stay with, whether it's the system or them. At this point I'm like,
right. But Kayla's in and out of jail, so she's not really there
right.
that often.
But what about
so,
Crystal? What
while
about
she's locked up, she's not around.
Like, but what about Crystal? Like, Crystal's got to have some kind of recourse, even if okay, let's even say she was a drug addict, but she's sober now. So she went through rehab. She did everything she was supposed to do. I don't even care if she went to jail for drugs. I don't care whoever's gone to jail for drugs ever, as long as you took the step to get clean and never do it again. Right. So like if she took that step, all the power to her. Praise the Lord. And she deserves to have her daughter now, right? She didn't expect to get clean and then not have her world. Her world wasn't her husband, right? Her world was Harmony, right? That was her world. And if she got sober for Harmony, but yet she's like, he said he's bringing the kid to me. Like he's been saying this. Like at some point there, it gets crazy. And I think I wish I still had. I think we had some phone. Let me look. I know we have there's a good interview here. With I think it was a social worker. Or was it? Let me look.
All right. Mother needs to tell her caseworker to make it on paper. The daughter cannot live there. Yeah, that's what I had thought too, but I mean, I don't know why I guess maybe because her mother is supposed to be supervising like any kind of interaction with them or something. So maybe they're thinking that it's safe on that because of that.
Let me see what this is. I don't think I've seen this one before. I've seen pretty much everything, but let me see. This one says adopted fathers of Harmony Montgomery's brother, hopeful for her safe return. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, that's Jameson's adopted family.
Right. Have we talked about that? Because that's who Harmony should be with, right? That's where she should have gone. They wanted her. They actually, in essence, they wanted her, didn't they?
Yeah, they tried. They tried to get custody of her, but the judge signed off for Adam.
That would have been the ideal, right? Like, I don't see how the judge could even not see that. I'm confused on how the better option. Like, if her brother is still and was adopted, you'd have to think, okay, it's not a good idea to give her back to the parents because one's already been adopted out. Let's just look at the obvious here. I don't mean to be Captain Obvious, but like one's been adopted out and we didn't give that one back. Why the fuck are we giving this one back? Anybody can answer this? Like, show of hands. Like there should have been a meeting. They'd be like, show of hands. Can anyone answer why we're doing this? That would have been my question.
I didn't understand if they're good enough parents to take care of one child, why would they not pass to take care of both?
Especially if they want to keep the family together. That should be the first priority of CPS is to keep those kids together. How dare them not keep them together? Especially if the family wanted them both. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That should have happened. That should have happened. Yes, Captain Obvious, right? Totally. You don't even, I mean, you could have no brains in your head. You could be blind as Stevie Wonder and still see this coming. Like,
exactly. There was no reason for them to split brother and sister up. There wasn't.
No, and Stevie Wonder didn't even see his divorce coming, but he saw this. I mean, seriously, it's back to blind. He's cool though. He's back to blind dating. It's cool. He's used to it.
It's cool.
Economically friendly. He never has to drive. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Right. Gas prices nowadays. I'm gonna start pretending I'm blind.
For real.
Put some black glasses on. Start hitting people with a walking stick like I don't know how to use it.
Right.
Why is that guy walking in the middle of the street? Help me, Facebook, help me. No, just kidding. A walking stick.
Right.
This is such a sad. Let's hear this. It's only a minute long, you guys.
Yeah, that's right, Grace. The fathers of Harmony Montgomery's biological brother are speaking to the media in hopes of bringing in information that leads to finding Harmony. The 7-year-old girl was last seen in 2019. Her brother, Jameson, is 5 years old and lives with his 2 adoptive fathers.
So sad.
Jameson's dad say they adopted him when he was 3 years old in Massachusetts, and Jameson and Harmony spent time together in foster care. They haven't told their son about Harmony's disappearance, but they say the little boy remembers her and talks about her often.
Oh, Jameson just talked about her, and he told her about her beautiful blonde hair and her glasses and her blue eyes. And we were at a baseball game with her other 2 boys, and he didn't want to leave, and I didn't understand why. And he goes, "I think that's Harmony over there." And he wanted to go play with that little girl just to make sure it wasn't his sister.
And Jameson's dad say they're in constant communication with.
Oh, that boy's gonna need gonna need therapy so bad. If he's okay, so he's so young and he's able to describe that, and he does not know she's missing at this point. He's thinking that she's just gonna show up one day and live with them. I don't know
he still thinks that she's with her.
How does his new parents tell him that though? Like, that is.
My
God, I couldn't even fathom as a parent. That's like worse than like having.
They posted on Twitter the other day when they said that the FBI came to them and told them that this is not going to end well for Harmony. They posted on there that they don't know how they're going to break it to him.
What's so screwed up is that Adam and Crystal should be the ones breaking to their kids anything about their family, even if he's got a new wife or whatever. Like, you're still co-parent. Like, I have a great co-parenting relationship with my ex. I'm very close with her and her, her boyfriend. I almost called her her ex, like her and her ex. Like, I'd been like, yes, I won, but no, no, I have a good, very copacetic relationship, and very down to earth, right? Because what's important is not us, and we know this. And thank God, like, I grew up next to my ex-wife for 20 plus years. I mean, she was my next door neighbor. That made it easier for us to know what's important. It's never, at first we had our anger, right? Of course, any breakup, anything has that kind of anger. But until you look yourself in the mirror and be like, man, did I do everything I could have done to make that work? Or did I do I mean, we did therapy, couples therapy, we did all that, but it was never taken too serious, right? Like, you go out to dinner afterwards, you're like, oh my gosh, it hurts me when you say this. Well, it hurts me when you say that. I mean, it's so generic what they want you to say. You're like, do we have to talk like this all the time? Why can't we just not talk for 15 minutes and be pissed and then just cool off and be like, all right, what's for dinner, hon? You know what I mean? There might be a simpler way, but like, but yeah, like, there's no reason why Adam or Crystal ever should have even had the entertainment unless Crystal was actually, like we said, clean and doing everything she could to get Harmony back, have a safe place for her to live, have a place, right? Period. Right. Like, have a place for her to lay her head and be able to go to school, have a transportation. I don't know if she's got that. She might. Hey, Roswell. Good to see you, honey. I don't know if she has that. You know what I mean? Didn't seem like she had a really support system, except her uncle is now just like, I haven't seen Harmony in like 2 years, and we're supposed to have Thanksgiving the last 2 years, or Christmases even. Like, I mean, not only Thanksgiving, but like Christmases, Easter, Mother's Day. And then, by the way, happy Father's Day to any fathers out there coming up tomorrow.
It is tomorrow.
I'm taking one of my kids on a driving lesson tomorrow for Father's Day, and the other one I'm going to give a catching lesson to right after.
Oh, good.
We're all going to hang out.
That'll be fun.
Just chill. Yeah, I'm excited. Love hanging out with my kids.
Yeah,
matter of fact, my 16-year-old's bigger than I am. I'm just like,
right.
I bought shoes that were too big for me, and I was about to take them back. I'm like, I'm just gonna give him those shoes because he's bigger than I am, and they will fit him.
Right.
Mallory.
That'd be good.
Mallory. Thank God she.
Your name.
MISSISSIPOTATA2027-6314. I don't know when you're Oh, I thought it said Miss Pothead. I'm sorry. I didn't see potato. I was like, maybe that's when you start like, but thank God you're a potato. But the root word is pot. So when you get hungry, you can eat the potato. It's all good.
Right.
Let's move. Right.
It's all good. No problem.
Mallory.
No problem.
Miss Malicious Mallory. What are you doing? Milk Mallory.
Hey, you're not allowed to say that.
She's the one that started the milk trauma. I had to buy silk. I have silk. I bought silk. I have silk in my fridge right now. I'll grab it to prove it if I have to. I can't even buy milk anymore. I was at the milk. I was at the milk aisle today too. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think Tiffany said I can have milk.
Right? We're not allowed to shop that aisle anymore. Come on.
I'm gonna get this 30-calorie silk.
Yeah,
One, I'm lactose, so the milk would be screwed up. 2, I only wanted to buy the milk to just piss off somebody. Like that, I was willing to pay $4 for a gallon of milk, and get no gas in my car because it's $6. I'm like, I'll just buy. Oh, I can't get the milk. I tried, and my hand started shaking. My lip quivered. My legs started twitching like Elvis. Like it was like
exactly. Like pretty soon we're not even going to be allowed to go in the milk aisle. We'll just have to.
I started getting that bed leg. I get that bed leg where the leg starts going. You can't stop it at night. You're like, stop. And it's like trying to kick yourself. Have you ever tried to kick yourself? It's the weirdest thing. Cut it out, Doug. And you start talking to yourself. Oh.
No, that's not good.
Is that the whole timeline? That's all?
No, that's not all of it. There's.
Bring it back. Let's get back to the timeline. Timeline's most important. Can't just stop in the middle of a timeline because then we're confused.
Right.
I do like showing my pretty face in the middle of the screen, but I prefer to be a little box like we're the rejects of American Hollywood Squares. Should see the French version.
All right. So this is back to whenever they moved in to the 644 Union Street apartment in December of 2019.
Okay, so do you know if Adam worked at all? Because to qualify for like an apartment, you got to have a certain amount of money. You got to have a certain credit score. Unless they had to pay extra for like a down payment, which I'm assuming they got some money out of that house. That's what I'm saying. The cash for keys for the house that they had to leave.
Right.
There had to be some type of money they had, right? To get into a place.
No, the whole thing with the house had nothing to do with them though. That belonged
right, but it was the mother-in-law, right?
It was Adam's grandmother.
So I'm sure she gave him some money to
here, sonny boy.
Here, sonny boy, go get the fuck out of my house.
Foreclosed on.
Right.
It was foreclosed on, which means the grandmother lost the house.
But I'm saying if they probably got, hey, instead of you guys screwing up the house, instead of you guys squatting there for 90 days, which will have to legally get you out because it could take longer through the courts to get somebody out of a house. It could take up to 90 days. Like they could have, even after the foreclosure, stayed, right, for 90 more days if they wanted to make it difficult. What makes that an easier situation is the mortgage company and the realtor comes in and say, listen, or the private buyer says, listen, we're willing to give you $5,000 cash for keys. Please don't destroy the house. Don't fuck up the plumbing. Don't pour concrete in the toilets. Don't do any of that, right? Please, let's do this amicably. I'm willing to give you some money since we saved so much when we bought your house for below market.
Right.
Right. So that's how that works. Now, Section 8 or something low income housing, that's a possibility too. But that takes time, right?
Yeah.
That's not instant like this. You can't just get low income housing unless you have like a rapid rehousing program that they have through like a Lutheran Services or something.
You know, with them being they'd been seen at the shelter previous to moving into this apartment. Maybe the shelter had some kind of services that would help them.
So what I'm saying exactly, there's a rapid, but you got to be able to prove a certain amount of income so you can afford the place, and then you can bypass the credit and all that because then the place that's getting you in.
As far as I know, Kayla was the only one working. Kayla was working at I believe it was a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, but she's not making enough to qualify for that apartment, so they had to finagle something or pay more to move in. Is all I'm saying. So there had to be some kind of money. There had to be some kind of
income based. That would be about the only way.
That's typically what they do is they want to check that you like out here. I had to qualify for four times income. 4 times the apartment rent. It's disgusting out here.
It is. I mean, every state's different, but I mean.
Well, California, there's no reach around. No, I love you. It's just bend over, bitch. That's what they say in California.
California just they don't care.
Yeah, no, that's what their favorite saying
They
is.
just
That's
don't care. They're just like, hand
California
us over your
tagline.
money.
California taglines: come here on vacation, leave on probation.
Right.
Yeah, and gas prices out here ain't that a bitch. We're at like $7 almost. It's nonsense.
It is.
Makes you want to like use your Lamborghinis, put some shoes on, your 5-point toes, just start walking everywhere.
Exactly.
It's too damn hot though. All right, so this takes us into January of 2020. So we're coming up on the time where they're like, okay, something's not right.
Yeah,
right?
we're getting there.
Yeah, they're starting to see that there's something not right here.
Okay, so on January the 8th of 2020, an unspecified referral is received by DCF for the Montgomery household. Adam tells the child services worker Harmony is living with her mother in Massachusetts and has been since Thanksgiving of 2019, and that he has had no contact with her since dropping her off there.
What a great
On
father.
January the 21st of 2020, the DCF worker attempts to call Crystal to verify that she has Harmony. She did not get an answer on the phone, and she left a voicemail, which Crystal never called back.
Was she in rehab? I believe, wasn't she in a rehab at that time still? I could have sworn there's a reason why she didn't make the call back. I don't know if she didn't.
Yes, I do believe that I remember Crystal saying that, yes, she was in a treatment facility at that time.
I believe that's why she didn't get that message.
Yeah, that she did not even, I don't believe she was not even aware there was a voicemail.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, like, if you don't have your phone and you're in some place where they don't give you access to it, then it's just you're gonna get tons of them, and then you're gonna start erasing them because you really just don't care anymore. You just want to empty. If you have an empty box, it's like it never happened. So
right. So yeah, I mean, that was one phone call that was made to Crystal. There was no other communication attempted that I've been able to uncover.
Big issue. They gave up after this. This is what we talked about months and months ago, if you remember. This is one of the biggest issues of the CPS problem here. They didn't attempt to call back more than once or try to get and go and visit or anything, right? They gave up. That was done.
Yeah.
Just one and go. That's not what a social worker does or a CPS agent does. They actually should be like emails, phones, text, however the hell you have to get a hold of someone. Every aspect should have been done, and it should have been done every single day for every day that's a business day. Right? Hey, this is important. We need to talk to you. Before I make a decision, I'm not just going to make a decision.
If they couldn't get a hold of her on the phone, why would they not have?
You can't get a hold of her in a rehab either because they're safe in a rehab. They don't even, they can't even go in. Like the courts can't even go in and take someone out of rehab. The rehab won't even tell them that they're there. We can't talk to you about the HIPAA laws.
So even if they had tried to call a welfare check, police wouldn't have been able to say, okay, we've located her and let us get this information.
They wouldn't have been able to see her.
Wow.
Nope. Not at all. If you're in a rehab like that, you're strictly under HIPAA. You're in jail there. You can't go to jail anywhere else. Like Don would have been safe had he taken our rehab offer. He would have gone to rehab for a year, and they would have, instead of giving a year in jail, they've been like, oh, good, he's in rehab. That we'll accept everything. CPS will be involved with the courts. Everything will work as a cohesive unit. But it's not like that, right? Because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Like Adam didn't do what he was supposed to do. Not since day one. I don't know how he got his Harmony back at all. He should have never, ever, 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 ever had a chance.
No.
Right? Unless just to be in her life through the foster family that she should have gone to. Right? I'm still your dad.
Supervised visitation. Yes, I would have went.
And then eventually, maybe unsupervised once she gets older and you see that he's a good guy. He's got a job. He goes to work every day.
Right.
I mean, you know where he lives. He's not, you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, that's still her father if she's in foster. So if I was the foster parent, as soon as I felt comfortable enough and my kid was old enough, like maybe 15, 16, something for safety. And then I'd be GPSing their asses too, by the way, like secretly.
Right.
I would chip them if I had to. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to find them if something happened. But like, you're going to have to give any foster kid a chance to know their real parent. I think that's important too. Right. I mean, fair is fair.
Right. I mean, if he was able to prove that he was, straightening his life out and putting the drugs down and, getting it together, then I say
job,
give him a
living
chance,
place,
but
no drugs, knows where he's at, not on an ankle bracelet, not on probation, nothing. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, that's cool.
But given his situation, no.
Right. Yeah, I'm cool with, like I said, like I'm not cool with drugs, but like if you were a drug addict and you went to jail at any time for drugs, you made some stupid theft decisions when you were on drugs, like I'm cool with you coming out and rehabilitating if you're not doing that shit no more. Right? Like you deserve a chance, right?
Exactly. Everybody deserves a chance to turn their life around.
Yeah, and you know what? People are miserable and down to you see why people are miserable, right? They make you wear masks every day for 2 years straight, make you stay home with your loved ones. You're like, I hate you guys now. Like now they're forcing us, forcing affection. Like people are buying toilet paper and paper towels and not condoms. I don't know why, because you're forced to stay at home to have like, oh, what else is there to do? I got done watching Sports Center. Let's just do it. Like, yes, forget the toilet paper, grab some condoms.
That's okay. You spend enough time around each other. You're like, I hate you. Don't even look at me.
It's my kid calling. I got to take this real quick.
Okay. All right, go ahead. All right. Then we have January 2021 and March of 2021. New Hampshire DCF received concerns about the children, but Harmony was not included in the reports. Again, Adam claims she's living with Crystal. So again, even in January and again in March of 2021, there were concerns for the other children that were living in the home. But yet, nothing got done for them either, because I've not that I have seen anyway, I've not seen anything that says that they removed the children at that time. In my opinion, neither parent cared who goes that long with zero contact. Right, Roswell. I don't know. I know Crystal blames her drug addiction and her substance abuse issues for why she was out of contact with Harmony for so long. But then she blames Adam because she said that after the FaceTime call she had with Harmony on Easter of 2019, that Adam blocked her from all social media. He blocked her phone number and was no longer allowing any contact between them whatsoever. If that was the case, I don't know why at that point she wouldn't have started pursuing other avenues. And, quite possibly she did. We just haven't uncovered that information yet. Yeah, Erin, that's, she does, and I really think that maybe she's actually starting to let it sink in now that, she has just as much responsibility in this as everybody else. Both of Harmony's parents failed her. They both dropped the ball on this.
Well, listen,
But
they did.
DCF is the one that really blew the whole thing up.
They did, but
they
like
were supposed to be her safety net, and they failed her.
Was Crystal not sober by the time of 2019? I think she was sober in 2019, right? Because
that's what I'm questioning, because if in Easter of 2019, as she said, was the last FaceTime call she had with Harmony,
right?
And immediately after that, Adam blocked her from all social media, blocked her phone number, and just cold turkey stopped communicating.
Well, because he killed Harmony. That's why.
Why that? But why did it take her until almost a whole nother year for her to start coming out and saying, "Hey, everybody, help me find my daughter. Where's my daughter? I need to find her." Maybe
she relapsed.
I'm thinking she, maybe she did.
I like see. That's relapsing isn't unacceptable, but like when you're fighting for your kid back and you come out and you give up and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna do drugs instead. There's an issue. Like, yeah, you give up your fight then. Like if she didn't do the drugs again, if in fact that happened, then she could have had Harmony back, or had her half the time, or by the courts have Adam investigated because he's got issues,
Right.
and he's blocking her, and he's everything she's legally supposed to have contact for. He took her out of the, like, if he blocked her, then how would he call her if he was going to take Harmony to and be like, hey, we're at the meetup point. You know what I mean? She's blocked. And he'd have to unblock her to do that. It doesn't make sense that he even contacted her, even told her, hey, I'm coming to bring you Harmony, and then just never showed up. That was just his story.
Yeah. Well, Crystal said, she never heard from him. So if he had plans on bringing her to drop her off, she didn't know anything about it.
Her poor little brother has no clue this is even going on to his sister. No clue. He thinks that it's rainbows and unicorns in the real world right now. This boy is going to be in shock when he finds out how long she was actually missing when he gets older. I mean, someone's going to have some explaining to do because he's going to be pissed. It really is. I mean, he's going to need therapy all the way through it to make him understand what happened.
How do you explain something this?
Let the police and the therapist describe it with you there, or somebody who's a medical doctor or something that can help you get through it. You need to take the avenues for safety, right? I mean, that's a big traumatic.
Imagine having to explain something like that to a 5-year-old, but
traumatic. Especially if he remembers all these details about her, right? So she's fresh still in his head 2 years later. This is scary. That's scary. That's mental warfare at its finest, because due to our government too. Like,
well, see, Harmony was closer to her little brother than anything. Harmony was the
safety zone.
Unfortunately, she was put in positions where she had to change his diapers. She had to feed him.
And make him stop crying. Make him stop crying.
Caring for him.
Yeah, 5 years old.
Even though she was just a baby herself.
Why Adam's getting high.
That's why they're so close.
Adam and his wife are getting high and screwing around. This is happening. And CPS, it was like, let's move on. And that's what they did. Essentially, like they just swept it right under the rug. Like, if they don't see that from this timeline, you should send this timeline to them. Find out whoever the CPS out there is, and send it to like the head person, and be like, here's a timeline how you guys effed up. Have a nice day. By the way, we're going to be bagging on you all the way until you guys fix what you did on YouTube. We may not be huge, but we're huge enough to keep the word across. You know what I mean? We're working on it.
Right.
So, like, I mean, you should send that, because you did a really good job on this. We're only halfway through, and it's still like there's too many red flags to even call it. Too many. Like, there's never a reason that this girl should have got this far with Adam and his stepwife or her stepmom, his wife. No,
he never should have even been considered as a placement for her.
I mean, shooting someone in the face and having the background he has as a violent criminal, that's right there. Okay, so you saw how quickly in the time frame they gave him his kid back, right? So they didn't make him do anger management classes for 18 months or anything to prove that he could be a good person in society. Nothing. No rehabilitation. Nada.
No, they had no kind of parenting plan in place. They had no kind of anything that says, okay, you're going to take her to this doctor on this date. She's got to go to this specialist.
They did this to Oakley Carlson too, when the attorney didn't even have a plan for how they were going to even transfer her safely to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just so amazing. How can this? Even the lawyers for CPS are effed. I just want to, you know what I mean? I'm just angry.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, pluck her away from this foster home where she had all of her services in place. She was getting the help she needed, the therapies, the doctors, the specialists, everything. Just take her from that, snatch her right away from it, and throw her with somebody that she had only met 9 times in her life.
Right. 9 times. And most of those were behind glass.
Right.
While he was in prison.
Yeah, I mean, and then you're going to expect this child to be able
Whoever
to
thought that was a great idea,
okay.
Whoever thought that was a great idea to take her to the prison and to visit her dad when she's that young, shame on you. Shame on you.
But
she didn't need to know this guy even. She didn't even need to know Adam. She should have just been left in the system.
She was in foster care at that time, so I'm wondering if DCF ordered that.
Oh yeah, he
If,
put
if
probably.
if that was a DCF order, then they had no choice but to take her, or they would have lost her themselves for being non-compliant. So pretty much at that point, the foster family's hands are tied.
So
they have to
sad.
do what DCF tells them to do.
At what point do you like? No, I'm not giving her back. So arrest me then.
She's mine.
And that's what I would do.
Her.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're not safe. You're not safe. You guys are bad people. I'm not letting you take this little girl. You're gonna have to. You better come in with guns a-blazing.
Exactly. At some point, you'd be like, "Fight me for it. Fight me for her. I'm not doing it."
Oh, so it's just so. I'm just so appalled at the actions of CPS and them rendering the situation okay to even like, like there's dog shit and cat piss everywhere and there's drugs on the floor. Yeah, we'll give her back. He seems like he'll be okay. Like, I mean, what kind of
when they lived in the Guilford Street home,
heads or tails, we'll just call it. Okay, we're giving these kids back. Like, this seems like it's a rock paper scissors contest. Oh, I lost Bob. Okay, send her back to Adam. Like, there's had to be some stipulation.
When they lived in the Guilford Street home, when Harmony was still with them, they had no electricity in that house. They had garbage everywhere.
Hoarders.
It was
drug addict
animal
hoarders.
feces, animals in the house.
Yeah, drug addict hoarders.
All reports that were made to DCF. DCF came out and they said, well, the kids have got clean clothes. They seem to be happy. And there's food in their refrigerator. They're using a generator to put power to the refrigerator to keep food in the house. They're okay.
By the way, see you later. Your house smells like total piss, but your kids are good. Take care. Don't let them eat any of the rat feces because it's probably not good for them.
They had no utilities on because the house was foreclosed on and they were supposed to have already been out.
Right? They're like, we had unplugged the electricity. We were stealing from the neighbor.
But because they had a generator that was powering the refrigerator and they had food in the refrigerator when DCF showed up and the kids had clean clothes, they said, oh, they're good.
But yet they take Megan Walsh's kid?
Yeah.
What in the holy hell? Where is the thinking at here? See, these are two cases you could show. Like, okay, here's how CPS is totally screwed up, and here's how they really effed up. And it gets worse as you show the stories, like, because now you can.
It's both both sides of the spectrum. So like, it's unreal. This is ridiculous that this even happens. I mean, these are supposed to be the people that are supposed to be the safety net to protect these kids, and it's like they don't even care.
So we got January 21, and then 8 months later, we get to September, right? 2021, where now a close friend of Crystal's contacts DCF concerned that no one has seen Harmony since 2019. DCF confirms Harmony was never enrolled in a school and efforts to locate her began. Well, that should be your job when she's in time to go to school. Yet you just make a surprise visit and you show up and be like, we need to see what you've done and make sure she's all good and had her shots and ready to go to school, and where she's going to school and everything. Like, it
was a friend of Crystal's that first reached out to DCF to see if they would do a welfare check or do something to help locate her.
So why did Crystal's friend and how close is she to her? Like, did they meet in rehab or like, you know what I mean? Like, why does it take Crystal's friend to contact DCF and Crystal's already done that months previous? I don't understand why didn't they start the investigation then for where's Harmony and why she hasn't been seen, and they didn't believe the mother's story the first time. Like, hey, he said he brought her to me, but that never happened. He never told me this. Like, that should have been the first red flag.
Well, see, when
this took 8 more months, that took us 8 more months to not find her.
Right. I mean, according to Crystal's story, she said that she had been calling DCF. And that they had been, just brushing her off, not returning her phone calls, and she couldn't get any straight answers out of them.
Right.
But then when a friend calls, they start to go like, oh, okay, well, maybe now we should do something. Because what? Because it's more than one person calling?
I think we see that.
Or
we
is it
dropped.
because they
No, they see
don't,
they dropped
they
the
wouldn't
ball.
take Crystal
They
seriously
see
because
where
of her
they dropped the
issues?
ball because there's nothing in that computer that says that they covered the months they were supposed to when there was, oh,
Right.
she's not in school. Well, what did the social worker, why did the social worker say that she showed up and saw her when she never really went? Like, there could be a problem like that too, right?
Yeah,
She
I
could
mean,
have just signed off and walked off. Like, I don't want to deal with this stuff. Too much paperwork. I'm out. Like, looks
Right.
good to me.
All right. I mean, that's possible too.
Yeah, Brookie says, so based off this timeline, it's like Harmony not sure last seen and big grab between when was last since. Well, we can put her getting seen back. Was it September?
October of 2019
September, October
is the latest that I can. That's whenever they were in between the Guilford Street address and the apartment they ended up in on Union Street.
But the claim is that Thanksgiving was actually the last time, like, because
Right.
Yeah, that's the claim. So we're not even sure if that's right. So like she said, September.
I do know, like I said, around October-ish of 2019, that's whenever the homeless shelter said that they came in to get a hot meal and warm clothes from them.
Right. Never to be seen again.
So, and Harmony was with them at that time. They remember seeing Harmony with them at that time.
I wonder if there was a co-signer on the apartment. If there was, besides his wife, like a third party, like another co-signer. Like, right. was it another family member? Like, I'm just having a hard time thinking how they even got into that apartment. But they did. Like, I mean, they did. They lived there.
Yeah, I might have to do some research on that apartment and see if are they income based or are they just like a regular landlord tenant deal or what the deal is with
or
that.
is it like Section 8 housing or emergency housing, possibly. There's anything's possible at this point. So,
but I mean, and again, another issue with that is that apartment was only a 1-bedroom apartment
for 5 people, right? Her 3 boys, 6 people. Her 3 boys, Harmony.
Yeah, would have been 6, but according to the neighbor, they never saw Harmony there.
I'm just saying, like, did the boys say, like, hey, we never played with Harmony here. We actually haven't, like, I know her boys are young, but, like, have you seen your sister? You guys, have you seen Harmony?
Yeah, that's what I wonder. I mean,
we wouldn't find that out. It's sealed. It's sealed. It's sealed.
Yeah,
we're not going to find out anything like that.
No,
not at all.
No. Okay, then we have the next one is November 18th of 2021. Crystal contacts Manchester, New Hampshire police and tries to report Harmony missing, but is told that since she did not have custody, she could not file a report and would have to refer to family court to get answers.
Bullshit. She could ask for a wellness check. She should have they should have done a wellness check when she called. There's the loophole here is that she has a civil case now against these people because they didn't follow up the way they should have on a child. They don't have to have custody, right? You can do a wellness check on a child without custody. Why does CPS do it all the time with anonymous callers?
That's what I was. I mean, even if they couldn't allow her to legally file a missing person report, they should have at least went and checked in.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that until December.
So do you see where the January? 27th. Do you see where the January to March gap was? It took that's a loss of 3 months, and then it took March to September. That's another 5. Like we've lost. That's 8 months that they out of the 2 years that we've lost trying to find her. That we had a chance to find her faster. 8 months faster, we could have been onto this. But it took them 8 months to just actually get to this damn point where they're believing people that she's missing.
There was many opportunities to get her out of that situation, and they were never taken.
I'm sure she can get her call logs from back then when she said she called and find when she called to make proof that she called, and then it'll tell how long she was on the call, probably too. And there's probably it's documented through the like if she called, it should be in the computer system of the police unless it just disappeared or dissipated. You know what I mean? It does. Sometimes that happens. And there's screw ups like this case, completely screw up from down to LEOs even screwed up. Like the judge screwed up, first of all, by letting this asshole out after trying to kill somebody. right? He should have been in a
Exactly.
lot longer. This
mean,
guy shoots someone in the face and gets a year.
Yeah, they sentenced him to 4, and he served 1.
Wow, makes you
So
want to shoot.
I'm wondering.
Makes you want to
I'm
make it
wondering
almost
if
worth
he-
it. It makes it almost worth it to shoot someone in the face that you don't like. I'm only
Yeah,
gonna get.
I'm wondering.
I'm only gonna
if
get a
he didn't
year.
start snitching.
You guys don't care about that? Okay, cool.
That's what I'm wondering. What did he do in return to get that sentence so low?
And that was an
wondering if he started
analogy, people.
snitching.
That was an analogy. I don't want to shoot anybody in the face.
No, we're not going to do that.
Not Molly, go lightly. Not nobody.
We are not violent people.
Not at all.
December 27, 2021, New Hampshire DCF reaches out to Manchester police to inform them they are unable to locate Harmony. It is then that the police begin trying to locate Adam. So they wouldn't do anything when she called in November, but when DCF reaches out to them in December, they decide they might want to go take a look at it. Doesn't make sense to me why they wouldn't have jumped on it immediately, but I guess in their eyes it's better late than never, right? December 29, 2021, Crystal emails a letter to Manchester Mayor requesting help in locating Harmony. So it takes her writing this letter and reaching out to the mayor. And in that letter, she threatens to go public all over the news with this on how they're not handling the situation right. And that's whenever they really start picking things up and start trying to put this together for her. It's sad that it takes that long and for you to start threatening to out people before they want to start trying to do the right thing.
And there was no Amber Alerts or anything for her either, huh?
No.
She didn't qualify.
No, there was never an
She's
Amber
like
Alert.
Monkey. She's like Monkey. Didn't qualify.
There was, I believe there was an endangered missing child alert, but that was it.
Yeah, it should have been stepped up. That should have been stepped up to an Amber Alert. They just don't have a vehicle of an abduction, right?
Right.
There's certain qualifications that you have to become an Amber Alert. But
Yeah,
she
I
would have
don't-
been a different alert because she's disabled. I think there's a different alert for a child that's disabled, just like there's a veteran that's disabled, right? Like mentally or whatever. Yeah. I think there is some kind of code or clear. No, I don't know. I don't remember which one it was, but I know there's like 5 or 6. We have clear, silver, amber,
blue,
and camouflage alert for yeah. And it's crazy, like the blue alert to this effect, it'd be like, say, like a prisoner or somebody like Casey White and Vicky were out. That would become an alert like that because it's not only ex-law enforcement or law enforcement, but it's now that's mental case and it's armed and dangerous. So it becomes an issue, right? So there's different alerts that mean different things for the way people are missing. So become familiar with that. Maybe in the next few days, we'll go back over those alerts.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to go back over those.
We can even cover them after this. It's real quick. I'll pull it up after we get done with this.
All right. There's not a whole lot left. December 31st, 2021, police publicly announce Harmony's disappearance. Later the same day, Adam is found sleeping in his car and is questioned about Harmony, which he is not helpful. And that's whenever he tells them the story about, that he took her to Crystal's and dropped her off at Thanksgiving and he hasn't seen her since. And then he quickly tells them, hey, are y'all going to charge me with something? Because if you're not, I've got nothing to say to y'all and you need to let me go on my way.
He's right.
So that was the end of that conversation.
He's right. Otherwise, he just says, I want an attorney. I'm done talking with you. And then they have to arrest him if they want to do something, right? Read the Miranda rights. But they have nothing, right? They had nothing and he knew it. He's a career criminal, right?
No,
let's be honest. He knows what's up right now. Like the same thing with that possible the murder, right? Like the shooting with him and his brother. Like there's still a possibility he's killed another man on top of the one he didn't kill when he shot him in the face. So I mean, it just shows pattern of practice all the way through.
Yeah, trust and believe he knows his rights right down to the letter.
Oh yeah,
I assure you, he's He knows exactly how he's playing this.
Oh, for sure.
I do understand why, because at this point he's trying to save his own skin, but
I
how
think
you can do something to your child,
Kayla's gonna turn on him.
if she knows. I question whether or not she actually knows or how much she does know.
Well, she left him for a reason.
She left him due to domestic violence and abuse.
Yeah, which means that she knows that he's capable of doing that to her. He's capable of doing that to kids. She's seen it. Let's just be honest. She's seen this stuff. If
sure
Harmony had a black eye, she's seen that, right?
Yeah, but what she told the police was that he told her that one of the boys smacked her in the face with a toy.
Right. Believable.
That was the explanation she got whenever she got home, and that Harmony had a black eye.
Yeah,
was that one of the boys threw a toy across the room and hit her in the face with it.
It had to be across the room because he's such a helicopter dad. I'm sure he's standing in between and playing with his kids. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure.
All right, going on.
Right. Okay. January 3rd, 2022, the tip line is established. Anyone with information, call 603-203-6060. Reward fund was started, but now the reward fund is over $150,000.
Wasn't there like $100,000 or something overnight that was donated?
Yes.
There was like a big private donor that just out of nowhere
it
shot up.
From what I understood, it was 2 local businesses.
Right. It just shot up overnight.
Like $100,000.
They did the same. It's the same in the Delphi case. Somebody did that for the Delphi daughters. Their case when like their reward grew like that too. So
right.
There are good people out there that don't even need a pat on the back or recognition. They just want to help, and that's just a beautiful thing. And for humanity, knowing that we still have something to look forward to that is not gone. You know.
Right. It is. January 4th, 2022, FBI joins the Manchester police in search at the Guildford Street home. After 2 days of searching, nothing is reported to be found.
They searched the gutters too, correct?
Yes, they searched that house from top to bottom. They even dug up dirt out of the yard. They went about, you know what I'm saying? They combed over every inch of that thing with a fine-tooth comb.
Right.
And as far as we know, what they've released is that they found nothing. If they actually did find anything, they're not telling.
Yeah, which means that we'd have to find out if, in fact, Harmony was in that other house before the apartment. And if somebody did see her and say that she didn't talk at all, but did see her, there's a possibility of a witness that saw her at the apartments, but she never talked or anything like that.
Right.
Is what I saw in the chat. So if that's the case, then there's got to be that eyewitness account has to be taken into,
right.
Like there's got to be, this has got to be a grand jury meeting as well. Like, it's 2 years not to see someone. That's a lot of time to get rid of a body. That's a lot of time.
I know the woman that said she lived next door to them at the Union Street apartment. She said that she had never seen Harmony there.
See,
but I mean, if one neighbor's saying they did and one neighbor's saying they didn't, then how do you work that out?
You start looking for CCTV in the building or around the building.
Like,
you got to hope that building has some type of camera system. Then they could try to see when they saw them coming and going, right? Like, there's got to be some other stuff that we don't know, like that can.
Right.
There's a reason why they're keeping Adam in jail for a while right now, and also, his wife, right?
Right.
There's a reason, and they need time, right, for a grand jury to meet to find. I mean, I hope those remains, or I hope something that they came up with turns out to be Harmony. If any kind of toxicology comes back, or any kind of anything that comes back to prove DNA wise it's her, that would be great. But the chances of that right now are they could be slim pickings. I mean, it's been so long, and there's it's been contaminated. It's been contaminated so many times that scene has been contaminated so many times. I mean, the only way they could have got away with something is to cut her up and have her in the freezer or something for a bit, right, in different containers, and then get rid of her slowly at different places. Like, there had to be a way to get rid of her without nobody noticing, right? Yeah, and then burning her would smell too much. It would be a giveaway, right?
even at this point, if they just simply waited till it was dark, placed her in the trunk of their car, and drove off, clearly people were not paying attention because she's been missing for 2 years and nobody noticed.
Because maybe nobody knew she was
Nobody would
actually
pay
living there.
attention to them leaving in their vehicle in the middle of the night.
Let's be honest.
So
When
they
you see a
could've took her
family,
and put her anywhere.
when you see a family with more than one kid, Harmony would have made 4 with the 3 brothers, right? Her
Right.
other kids, right? So like, if you see a family with 3, like, oh yeah, I've seen that family, I've seen their kids, but like, have you seen all of them? Like, do you know for a fact, or have you seen them and you don't know really if you saw her or didn't see?
Right.
Like, it'd be tough with all those people around, right? Because you'd have to be like, I could have seen her, but maybe it was one of the brothers or all 3 of them. I don't remember. Right? It's one of those things. It seems like it's too it's too out there. So who do you believe at that point? You believe both of them. That's my answer. You believe both of them. And you find some other witness to be the 2-to-1 vote, like if they were seen or not, right? But there's nobody else that's speaking up.
Yeah, so far there's nobody else I don't know who's spoken to law enforcement there. I'm sure everybody that lives there in that apartment complex did.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's got to be some type of, like I said, some kind of a security camera out front. Like, most places are required to have those, right?
Right.
Especially if they're low income. So especially if they're low income or however they got into, there's got to be some kind of knowledge of seeing her at some point, if not at all. Like I said, it's 50-50.
All right, with them moving in, the landlord, apartment manager, or whatever you want to call it, would know whether or not she was there.
Oh yeah, because you gotta list all of the you gotta list kids and adults.
Yeah, you've got to put their name on the lease, and then they would have knew how many kids they listed, unless it was
that's a phenomenal point. That is a phenomenal point. Like, that should be the first thing that they check, the cops. Like, they should know.
But
like, that should give them an idea. Like,
they had no problem lying to the welfare office to get benefits.
What, did they just list their pets and not their kids? Come on. They had to list. I mean, they probably just listed the boys or her kids from the other marriage, right? And not Harmony.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility too, because it's not like you have to,
Andrew couldn't list the other son that was already in foster care or in adopted. Like, he couldn't list him, right? That was done. Like, he's not listing him. I mean, unless he did instead of Harmony, and we don't know.
Exactly.
Then it looks like all boys. Then it looks like all boys, and they really don't know how many boys you got, and they don't really. They remember that you put 3 and not 4. Like, they're gonna remember you have more than 2, and that's how they're gonna remember. Half the time, they probably wouldn't even go look to see. Oh, I could have sworn there was 4, but maybe not.
Right. Yeah, Von. Was there a church across the street? I believe so.
Got to be some.
I believe if it's not across the street, it's within that same block. I do remember looking at the Google map. I do believe I remember seeing a church.
Let's just say that they do have CCTV across the street and on that whole block. It's been too long. It's been looped over. It's been erased. It's been recorded over. It's gone. There's nothing that
I mean, it's
gone.
It's been 2 years. Those cameras do not.
28 days usually. Usually loop every 28 days if you got a good system, or a good SD card in there, or however you're running the system, or it just sets itself to delete the furthest days out, every day. It deletes a few days off, it works that way.
Right.
So.
Okay. January the 4th, 2022, Adam is arrested for second-degree assault, interfering with custody, and endangering the welfare of a child. These charges stem from the July 2019 allegations of abuse of Harmony, as well as Adam's refusal to give information about Harmony's location to DCF and police.
So it tells me to believe this. She would have known the last time she had food stamps and bought food for Harmony. And then she would have remembered when she started still claiming it when Harmony was gone. She's got to know. That's the only way she could start claiming or do this. I mean, they don't come by. You can actually do your SARS 7 or whatever it's called over the phone. When I used to have it, that you could be able to do your thing over the phone. It was just under penalty of perjury, say your full name, yada, yada, yada. I mean, these criminals are willing to say their full name, and like, who knows? They probably were saying, say Kayla and my 3 boys. She was making probably 500 or more in food stamps a month, probably for her and the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
And Adam, but like that all that stuff comes back. Like she's got to pay all that back. She's gonna have restitution on top of the jail time. Just so you know.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Definitely gonna have to.
You don't just get to keep. Yeah, you don't just get to keep that money, especially if it comes from Uncle Slam. He's gonna nail you.
Yeah, he's gonna want his money back and then some.
Interest, or some more jail time for that ass.
Definitely.
Something like that.
January the 6th, 2022, Kayla is arrested for felony welfare fraud. Charges were later dropped and changed to felony theft.
Why is that?
I'm not 100% sure why they.
Which one carries a bigger? Which one carries a big? I mean, obviously felony theft probably carries a bigger charge. I mean, or what or not? I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what what would be the difference.
Longer time in jail, more restitution. I'm sure it's written in the penal code or something. How it's supposed to.
Yeah, I'm sure they hit her with the most.
Yeah, they probably wanted the strategic
they could get,
or to keep her in the longest to find out what happened to Harmony.
Right.
I mean, she probably could have bailed out differently under felony welfare fraud, or it may have been like no bail, just own recognizance, right? That might just been like, oh, we have to let her go at that time. Yeah, it could have been where they might have had to let her go at that point, as opposed to we could keep her in longer for felony theft. I'm sure there's some type of strategy in the background that that they're doing to keep these two in jail until they could stick them with whatever they can, including possibly the murder that him and his brother were involved in. They just can't put the finger on yet, and also placing the murder of Harmony Montgomery, when body or not. If they can prove that he did something through circumstantial evidence, it's cancel Christmas.
Well, I mean, with the way, I guess, FBI and all the other investigative entities are saying that, they are confident that this is not, it's not anything other than a body recovery at this point. That would lead me to believe that they have some type of evidence that supports that.
Knowledge.
Yeah, they've got something.
Oh, for sure. Evidence on top of the knowledge.
It may not be enough to find Harmony, but I think they've got enough to start some charges.
And no body, no gun, or no body, no weapon is tough.
It is.
It really is. I mean, and if you got enough money, you can win. Look at Barry Morphew. Or you can win for now. Yeah, I still have confidence that eventually he's going to get got.
Right.
Yeah. But like here, you got scumbag criminals that have no money, but are more criminal minded. That you got to be careful. I don't know what's better.
Right. Okay, so then February the 24th, Governor Sununu's office releases the details of the investigation and makes recommendations for new protections for children in custody disputes. March 13th is when Kelsey Smalls, was the girlfriend of Adam Montgomery, was found dead in a hotel room in Manchester. She was never charged with anything relating to Harmony's disappearance and was not named a suspect. Official cause of death was not revealed.
Overdose.
Yeah, now probably. Kelsey is the one that was with Adam whenever the police found him to ask him about where Harmony was.
Right. But the pressure built up too much and she had to escape because she saw this coming with the like, oh God, the food stamps and this and that. Like, they're going to connect me. I'm done with you, Adam. You're abusive. I hate you. And I only stuck around because I know more and I felt I needed to, but we'll part ways. I won't say anything. You don't say anything. And we'll just part ways. Don't hurt me. Right. That's probably how that went.
Yeah. Kayla took off and went back to her mom with the kids.
Right.
And then in March is whenever the new girlfriend ended up losing her life.
I want to know is CPS in her life right now with her three boys. Like, they have to be.
Yes,
I mean,
they are.
Okay, good. Because like, there's no way that they're not. I mean,
they are. Her mother has kinship care.
I just said thank God that CPS was involved. Maybe it's a bad idea, and after what we've seen, CPS seems like all the kids get gone or get dead. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I hope it's a totally different group than the group that was supposed to be watching out for Harmony.
Or whoever gave him back after knowing her dad only 9 different times that she saw him.
Right.
Probably wasn't even there for her birth.
Great. April 4th, 2022, Adam has new charges filed. And a list of them. The first new charge is theft by unauthorized taking for allegedly stealing a rifle and a shotgun. 2 charges for receiving stolen property, allegedly receiving or retaining the shotgun and rifle. 2 charges of felon in possession of a firearm for possessing the weapons after conviction of 1 or more felonies. 2 charges for armed career criminal for possessing the firearms after being convicted of 3 or more felonies. Investigators say the alleged thefts occurred between September the 29th and October the 3rd of 2019 in Manchester. Then April the 12th of 2022, Kayla is charged with 2 counts of receiving stolen property for her role in the gun thefts. Investigators say there is no evidence that the charges are related to Harmony's disappearance. March the 4th is whenever Massachusetts released their Office of Child Advocate report that outlines the mistakes that were made in Harmony's case before she disappeared in New Hampshire. On May the 7th, Kayla was released from jail after being held for 4 months. And that was over the food stamp fraud, the theft charges. She was held for 4 months, and then she was granted bail so that, she could get out and go back to her kids. She was ordered by the court to check in with Manchester PD daily and continue a substance abuse treatment program. She's also ordered to have no contact with Adam and not allowed to leave the state. Then we
she thought she lucked out, didn't she? She thought she got a pass.
Yeah, they let her out, but she's got stuff she's got to do.
Yep.
So they're at least they're making her. I don't really know how much forced help as far as drug abuse goes. I don't really think that it helps.
Or how much checking they were going to do anyway.
Oh yeah, we always got to question that too.
Right.
It's entirely possible. On June the 3rd, Kayla is again arrested on the perjury charges, accused of lying to the grand jury about when and where she was working when Harmony was last seen and accounted for. She was released on bond 3 days later. So I guess now they're even questioning whether or not, because her statement originally was that, she was going to work. She was gone whenever Harmony come up missing, so she doesn't know what happened. So maybe now they have information that she wasn't really at work.
Well, I mean, they have an alibi. They have an alibi, but if she works at a fast food restaurant, most likely it's a digital check-in or through a register.
Right.
Right. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to sign in. But you can.
But if they're saying that they can prove she was lying about when and where she was working. So, maybe that's possible that she wasn't even working during that time.
Yeah, it's all possible. I think they parted ways, each knowing something that could get each other in trouble. So they're just like, we'll just leave each other the F alone. You go your way, I'll go my way.
Right.
Don't say a word. Shake on it, pinky swear.
And then, of course, that takes us to June 14th and 15th, whenever they searched the Union Street apartment and took out multiple items, but we don't know what exactly they found in that.
Or if there were, according to one creator, BHB, sorry, she said her Harmony's remains were found, yada, yada, yada. I still don't believe that to be true. I don't believe that to be true.
Well, I know one of the news stations out there talked to the woman that currently rents the apartment, and she said no, to her knowledge they did not find anything
I don't think so
of that nature inside her apartment.
That's why that picture on that post that lady put up that got taken down really fast after people were like, nice one, where she put up the number next to that big blood stain. That was good. That was a good one. That's how you really start screwing with people in a case.
Yeah, that's how
putting
you
up
really
wrong crime scene photos. Nice one. Might as well just put a chalk outline of an adult and call it Harmony.
Exactly.
Trash.
I know. I do hope somebody starts talking. It's sad, all this waiting and not knowing, and it's craziness that it even come to this. I mean, this should have been stopped way before she ever came up missing. They had so many opportunities and they failed her.
This just in. CPS sucks. It needs to be refined, and we, the people, need to step up and make sure that happens. Talk to your local city council and your legislator local today. Find out what the next steps are. Like, what do you have? What can you do as people to help this? Even if they're not your kids, you know, you don't want it to be your kid someday, right? You want to make sure the system's okay. If it's going to end up being there one day for you on accident, or if something does unfortunately happen, you want it to be a good system.
Right.
Right.
You do.
CPS is just, it needs a lot of work. I don't know if it's funding, under education of people, they're not caring of their job any longer. I don't know what it is. What's the motivation behind it? Just the training, lack of staff. What is it?
I mean, I don't know. I do know that a lot of your CPS offices have a very high turnaround rate. They have a problem retaining employees.
That's a hard job to take, but at the same time, you're getting. I hope they're getting paid like cops get paid hazard pay, because it's dangerous. Like, they deserve some extra type of pay like that, because that job needs some extra attention.
It does.
Right? Big time.
It does. I mean, I think,
big time.
And I think too, a lot of the problem is that not very many people are actually going into this line of work anymore. There are not very many people that are signing up
that want to be social worker.
I want to go to school to be a social worker.
There's no benefit to them. There's no benefit to them.
There's a shortage.
No benefit. And you know what? Probably college, they're not getting the funding that they need for that also. Like, it starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Got to start somewhere. I don't know where it is.
There's a shortage on that, just like there's a shortage on
I don't know where it
teachers.
is. I just don't. Right.
No.
That's a fact.
I mean,
that's a fact. That's a good analogy. That's facts. Understaffed and underplayed and underpaid.
Yep.
Like, here, take the here. You want to be manager? We're going to pay you less and make you work more. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
Some people are like, okay, it says man here. I'm perfect.
Yeah, right.
Like, you're going to pay me less. I get to work more and just have a cool nickname. I'm in. Hyman. Might as well just change my name. Just change my name to Hyman then.
I'm in. I mean, I have. Hey, I've worked jobs before. Whenever they've offered me a management position, they're like, "Yeah, you'll get $1 more raise on an hour, and you'll work 60 hours a week instead of 40." And I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah, my old work.
A whole dollar, and I'm doing 1.5 people's jobs. Okay, yeah, I don't think so.
I worked at a place for 3 months. Nobody knew I even worked there. Matter of fact, I never even got paid. I was just there every day. It was the weirdest thing.
That is strange. How does that happen? How exactly does that happen?
They just never paid me. I guess I was an intern. No, I guess my commissions were just on delay still from 3 years ago. It's all good. It's all good.
It was just life experience, right? You got paid in life experience.
They said they called me one time. They got my message, and I never called back. And they gave up. Just like in this case where the social worker called one time and gave up after calling Crystal to find out about,
Right.
It's the same thing. CPS needs us to step in, people. We need to step in for us, not for them, but for us right now, for them at the end, right? Because we got to make sure our kids are safe first before the system comes and takes them for no damn reason, like Megan Walsh. There's a big story, and it's a big crisis, and it's legal trafficking. Just like this happened, she would have been better being trafficked, right, than letting her dad kill her. Like, he should have never got her back. I'm firm on my thought process that I feel, and I'm not saying this is real and this is how it happened, but I feel he lost his temper and he reacted and he shook her, hit her, choked her, did something to her, and it hit her in the head, terminally, internal bleeding, and then got rid of her.
I mean, I'm thinking that's a possibility. Or, I know they had said that she had, some behavioral issues and that she could, be kind of, I guess, hyperactive, you would say.
Rambunctious.
Exactly. If he's too busy,
I hate
getting-
that word. I hate that
do.
word. I hate
I
people who
do.
say rambunctious, like in the
I
West
do,
case.
but
I
you know
hate
what I'm
that
saying.
shit.
If he's too busy getting high to be bothered to
What if
take
she ate
care
some
of
drugs?
her,
What if she ate some drugs? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
She could have got into something, or he could have medicated her himself to be like, okay, you're going to go take a nap now.
Poisoned her.
That's
Yeah,
what
of
I'm
course.
saying, and ended up, over medicating her with whatever.
I don't see him being that nice of a guy though. I see him hurting her physically. That's what I see in my head.
Yeah.
Physically, I see him.
Yeah, I mean,
I see him
he does
holding
have
her
a
down.
lot of anger issues.
I see him holding
aggression.
her down and choking her. That's what I feel. It was
Right.
personal. What he did was personal because he was tired of her behavior because she was too needy to him because she
Right.
had disabilities and she was blind in one eye. But he
So
wasn't
sad.
wanting to pay attention because the drugs or the come down or something. His reaction is his.
Right.
That's how I feel it happened. I mean, we're all entitled to our opinions, right?
Right.
I guess. I don't know.
Exactly.
Put a one in the chat
I
if you
just
agree
feel
with
that-
me. Put a 2 in the chat if you think I'm wrong. Let's see what you guys are saying. Or you can do a poll. Is Doug
Let's
right
look at
or
this
is Doug
poll.
left? Oh my gosh, you got me. You got me for 15 minutes extra over our contractual agreement. You're so lucky today. You are so lucky
So
today.
60% said that DCF definitely dropped the ball for Harmony,
Cool.
and 38% said everyone involved in her
I
life
switched
did.
my answer. I switched my answer from yes to everyone.
Right.
Because I didn't read it. I reacted too quickly without reading the third option because it's a slam dunk, just the first question.
right.
But you add that curveball and you're like, I got to keep my weight back. So when it gets to me, I'm gonna crush it.
Right.
That was what my thought process was. Like, I didn't do that. I just went straight to the first option, and that's not the best thing to do. Thank you. I think we're all okay. We're all on the same page. Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, cool. This was a great show. I'm so happy you took the time to do that. Hopefully, like when you found
Thank
the
you.
timelines on say whatever browser you're using, I hope you just like cut and copied what you had to write, unless you typed all of it out. I hope you could copy whatever it is on the internet page and paste it right onto the Word document.
No,
or
I
Google
typed
Docs.
it all out because they all had fonts, had different fonts, different sizes, and I was like, yeah, screw this. I'm
Just
gonna type it.
don't worry. Here, let me teach you something real quick. Don't worry about the fonts and sizes to the end. Just put all the stuff, just space it out, and then you highlight everything. You change all the same font and all the same size. Done.
Right.
Knocked out of the park. I'm gonna save you some time in your life because you do great work, and if you're able to do twice as much, then I don't have to do any. Oh, look at you go, Doug. Passing off the work and taking credit yourself for it. You're the man.
Potential.
You wear the pants in this relationship.
That's
Actually,
management
Buddy and Winston
potential.
do. It's the weirdest thing. Her cat, my dog. It's the weirdest thing.
Right.
And we're not even together. I mean,
Right.
we're platonically together, but like our animals, like I have a mission. They're like our private investigators. Buddy likes to come up and get into the picture. Winston likes to bark and mess the pillows in the bed up.
Right.
I actually when I move, I'm gonna give him that bed. This is gonna be his new dog bed, and I'm buying
He's gonna
myself
have his own
I'm getting a
bed.
king.
That's
I'm
cool.
getting back into my king size bed,
Oh,
and then
good.
so I'll give him a queen size bed, and then when my kids come by, they can always sleep with him.
You're right. He'll have to scoot over. He'll be.
Oh no, he'll just tuck into wherever. Like he just wants to.
Right.
He just loves my kids. He'll literally
that's
lay
great.
and just lay his head on their legs and just stare at them all night long, switching off. That's, I had Winston when they were 1 and ever since they were 3 and 6.
Oh yeah.
So they used to ride him and everything. I've had him since
Wow.
I rescued Winston when he was 1, and he rescued me when I rescued him.
Right.
So that's the way that one works.
It is.
Well, you know what? I've been on
Yeah.
here long enough. You know what? My time is
Yeah,
valuable,
it's time
and
for
I don't
us to
think
get
you're. I
outta
don't
here,
think. I don't
people.
think you're rich enough to keep me any longer. See, it's time and a
I
half
know.
after 2.
It
That's what I
is.
do. I just start charging.
Right. We're gonna.
I have
to
a
get outta
fee.
here.
If you ever want me on your show, I have a fee, people.
Yeah.
It's
Yep,
free.
Definitely.
It's free. I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
I'd stay on here for 6 hours with you. You've dedicated like that to me. I'd sit here for 6 hours with you right now if you wanted to go 6 hours. I just hope you
No.
don't, because I can't feel my
we're
butt
totally
cheeks.
not doing that.
Can't feel my butt cheeks right now, and I got to tinkle like Bullwinkle.
We're totally not.
We're gonna
doing
have a
that.
heck of a show on my channel tonight. It's gonna be some
All right.
controversy. It's gonna be some controversy tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy, get ready.
Crime
people.
and Justice tonight. We better shadow up. Supersize your
Off
shake.
people.
Supersize your slushies. Let's rock and roll to the Sonics.
Grabs the popcorn. Let's go.
Let's go. Everybody in the Airstream. Let's go.
All right, you guys.
Has anybody seen Buddy? Catch you on the flip side. Thanks for having me. I love you guys. Thanks for coming.
Guys.